Arizona Sycamore.
Hello and welcome to the Saladcast on Sunday the 5th of April, Easter Sunday 2015. I'm your host Dan Train, joining me today, Zachary Burgess.
Chocolate Day 2015.
Indeed. And Robert Kemp.
He is actually here. He just can't summon a single word.
No,
we finally hit the point. Not even noises. It's just like literally silence.
That is literally the first time.
I have nothing.
You got nothing.
I got nothing.
You even got a good prompt from like the Chocolate Day.
I did.
Yeah, that gave you many openings for stupid things to say.
Stupidity, yeah.
I was about to say, for Chocolate Day, I haven't eaten any chocolate, but no, I broke that because you gave me chocolate.
Yes, I did. I am your supplier.
I didn't eat any chocolate until just then either.
You're my,
What's
you're my
going
chocolate
on?
enabler.
Well,
But-
me and Rob both got one of those bunnies.
I know
so-
you got those lint bunny things. Everyone seems to have a lint bunny, but nobody seems to have eaten them. They're just sitting there. It's Easter Sunday. This is
in
the only
fairness,
day you're
I've not
supposed to
been
eat them.
home very long.
I haven't been
No,
awake
fair
very
enough.
long, so yeah.
Okay.
I don't have chocolate
Fair
for
enough.
breakfast.
But I thought you're supposed to on this one day have chocolate for breakfast. I thought that was the day.
I would if it was white chocolate, because that's not really chocolate, and it's so
It's not really
it's so much
chocolate.
not chocolate that you can just eat it whenever.
You think?
I think so.
I think it's sweeter than normal chocolate, isn't it? White chocolate.
Yeah, it probably is, yeah.
I find it quite sickly.
I like white chocolate.
I was tempted to eat some Jelly Babies this morning because I've got a packet of those, but I didn't. So, you know.
What was the chalky white chocolate buttons? Just buttons. What are they called? You know, Cadbury's
Yeah, I guess they just wear another version of buttons. aren't
buttons. Yeah, I don't know.
they? Well, they're not the really shit ones, like the ones you'd get in the
Yeah,
corner
yeah.
shop that were like, what the fuck are these even made of? Covered in sprinkles.
Oh god, they're
you mean
really
Razzies?
strange.
What?
You mean Razzies?
No.
You don't mean Razzies.
What are Razzies?
Well,
They're like chocolate buttons,
Sort
but they're the
of,
ones
yeah.
covered in those weird coloured,
Oh,
like, circles.
in
sort
that case,
of.
yes.
Yeah, and you got the white and black chocolate.
they probably
versions.
weren't actually branded
No.
as Razzies. They
No,
were probably
no.
like an even shittier knockoff.
Yeah,
Like, that's the sort of thing you get with like sugar mice and shit.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they're almost all of them are almost certainly some pick and mix company's random knockoff variant of it, as opposed to actually being Razzies.
Yes, exactly.
Like, who makes the banana foam thing?
Well, those
Well,
you,
the-
could
well,
get them, you could get them in like Tesco's.
I know,
They're
but
fine.
who was the originator of the banana foam or the shrimp?
Well, who invented any of these dumb things?
That are so
Who thought a sweet that like is a shrimp but has in no way anything to do with shrimp was a good idea?
the candy classics?
Did they just like the shape of? They had something pink, and they were like, "What animal?" Is
We've
that?
got this
Pig?
pink. We've
Wow,
already
we've
made
got
this pink
pigs.
substance.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all sugary, so we need a shape of something that's pink.
I know prawns sound weird. Let's make that. That'll get people intrigued, right? And they'll try it and go, "Oh, this tastes nothing like prawn. It's actually delicious."
I'm not sure that's like when you first come to that as a child. I'm not sure you're thinking of like prawns.
Prawns.
You're probably not even looking at it, are you? You're probably going, "Face! Stick this food in my face!"
It's like how many children even know what a prawn is by the first time they come across one of those? It's like a banana. That's
Yeah, yeah.
You know what
that's
that
true.
is.
Or like a pig or something. It's like farmyard animal. You know what they are by the time you're like 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
But like prawns, like you go through all the fish in the sea. Like this is a cod and this is a place. They look exactly the same.
Maybe the developers of these particular candies grew up in a seaside town, you know, with a fishing community.
Right, trawling for
Just got more
For
shellfish.
Yeah.
cockle-shaped chocolates.
They should do more obscure seafood.
Well, they have the Belgian seashells, of course. That's the other classic.
Yeah, but I've never really had those because they're a bit
Yeah,
too.
well, yeah, they're
Do you
Belgian.
reckon you could make
Belgian.
luxury chocolate mussels where they're like you have to somehow
They
crack
open
open
them up.
and then get
We
the-
like want like an outer shell of some kind of sugar and then an inside of some kind of like marshmallow or something.
Yeah, and they try and encourage you to open the shell rather than just go. That's
That's not gonna happen. Just
You'd have to
eat
make it
that.
out of really crispy, something crispy like caramel or something. I don't know. It's
Doesn't sound like
solid
something that's very
caramel.
easy to eat.
Yeah.
Well, like molded because they usually comes in sheets, doesn't it? All that sort of shattery stuff.
Yeah.
How would you make a shell out of it?
I suppose you can make just a thick version of it, right? You can't.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be all sheeted.
Is it toffee and no toffee is like
Toffee tends to be kind of malleable.
malleable. What's the other one? Caramel. Is that what you're saying?
Because it is
Yeah.
caramel.
Yeah, you can
Hard caramel.
you can solidify it. Hard caramel.
there's toffee and then there's fudge, which is definitely married.
Fudge is a lot softer.
Yeah.
Lot softer.
Fudge isn't really malleable. It's like you try and bend it, it tears.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. It's ductile. No, not
Terrible.
ductile. Ductile still means it
Stays together.
attached.
Yeah. Is it ductile or ductile?
Whatever.
Ductile. I like that. That's good.
It's like malleable.
Yeah, but I don't think it's meant to be though, is it? Because malleable doesn't have an I in it.
It's like,
No,
what?
it does. But no, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't have an I in it. Back to words. We always get onto like grammar words for some reason.
Malleable.
Malleable. And ductile and malleable. Materials. Always do material science referring to sweets. It's
Yes.
the best way.
Because that must be
Like
some of the weirdest stuff.
fracture
Just
mechanics.
food in general. There must be the weirdest like descriptions of what this actually is.
As toffee does. Oh, not toffee. Which one is it that's hard and you hit it with a hammer and it
Caramel.
cracks? Caramel.
It is caramel.
Yeah.
Is it? And
Caramel hammer.
that fractures.
Yes.
Like glass, right? Fracture mechanics.
Yeah.
But
I
molding
guess
that
that's
into a
brittle
shell.
is the word we're
Brittle.
looking for,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that'll do. Brittle.
Yeah, exactly. What are you talking about?
It doesn't have an I in it.
No, I'm
Well, it
joking.
does, but not there.
Definitely not brittle.
Brittle.
That's something like Adam and Joe would say, like buton instead of button.
It's Brittle. That's what it is.
Yeah, Brittle.
It's like Chipotle. It's Brittle.
Brittle.
How are you enjoying your bright lay candle?
That's a different kind of bright.
This is like new brightness from Italy.
Was that
Bright
from
lay.
caramel candle?
No, it's candy.
Yeah, no, candy.
Oh,
I was trying to say.
candy.
Or Candai. Candai.
Candile.
This conversation is very candile.
Whatever the fuck that means.
We're coining it. What does it mean?
So take whatever your interpretation of that last conversation was. That's what Candai
Okay,
means.
so candile of a conversation that means you're just changing the words pronunciation of words for no reason. and
Oh
that
no,
makes
I
a
was
candile
assuming it meant
conversation.
that it's a conversation about candy. But
Oh, I see.
this is a candile topic.
Candile. It's a perfectly cromulent word.
I feel embiggened.
Yes.
Oh man, how's everyone's week been? Zach, have you had any nightmares in the kitchen or in your Wi-Fi or whatever the fuck you were talking about normally?
Normally.
Yeah, we're
I talking about normally.
We've got to have like graphics card interference updates.
I haven't fucked around with it. It's working well enough. I also haven't finished updating Windows. I never got round to doing any more of those.
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
Tons of extra updates that kept appearing.
Okay.
Because every time I restarted like 3 times, and there's just more.
Yeah.
And then at some point I was like, "Fuck this! You can just wait until the next time I actually restart my computer for when the RAM fills up."
What, in like 6 months?
Yeah, however long it takes. A few weeks. Depends what I'm playing, I guess. Stuff that takes up more RAM tends to stick.
Stuff that leaks memory.
Yeah, whatever the fuck is wrong with my
Okay.
RAM that just makes it fill up over time.
Do you not? Well, I suppose you never turn your computer off, do you?
No, exactly. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why I noticed that at all, I suppose.
You should just set up a scheduled task to make it reboot overnight or something.
Yes, but then all the shit that's running wouldn't be running when I got to there. Got to it again, unless I set everything to actually auto run
Yeah.
and do like auto connects on all the various IRC and stuff. I suppose.
I have to say, my Mac is pretty good at like it sometimes restarts itself, like because it's had a wobbly or whatever. When it's because I usually just put it back in sleep mode, but
Oh,
it does
sure.
an amazing job of restoring the state of everything, even though it's restarted. I mean, it does not perfect, but it's like, wow, that's pretty good. I don't know if it like actually saves the state of RAM like hibernation mode on Windows does.
Okay, right.
Might
yeah.
do, but who knows how it works? But it seems to work.
But then most things are moving away from actually having to shut down fully anyway.
Oh yeah,
Really, like most devices want you to keep them in a state of perpetual standby of some form anyway.
just to go from praising Apple to complaining about them, iTunes is the only fucking thing that makes me restart my PC.
Oh, it's because
Bastards.
iTunes is a fucking terrible piece of software.
It's awful. It's the worst thing ever.
The only,
I
the
can't
only thing
believe-
good about it is AirPlay to multiple devices.
It's got to the point where I can literally upgrade my graphics driver without restarting my PC, but I can't update
yeah.
iTunes.
Yeah,
Now that is insane. Ugh. Anyway,
yeah, that is bad.
/ rant, as they say.
/ rant.
Do you ever use that stupid expression from Tinternet?
No.
Do you have come across that?
Presumably it's a Reddit thing, right?
No.
Well,
it's
it
way
kind of
older
is.
than Reddit.
Slash rant.
Well, it's just like a closing
Yeah.
tag.
It's just us
Slash sarcasm.
HTML style.
Oh, it's HTML, is it? Okay. I
Well,
thought it was going to be like the old...
If you're not going to say angle bracket slash brand.
I thought it was going to be like the old, like, I don't know, messenger shortcuts you used to be able to do back in the...
Oh yes, it's not slashed arms. That's a different.
Yeah.
No. It's like slash thread. It's like the thread is over.
Oh, yeah.
End of thread.
I do just like in emails where I need to let off steam or something, I'll put a giant, like, in capital letters, begin of rant or something.
Okay. Commence rant.
And then like talk about all the problems I think I've had, and then like end of rant, and then go back to a normal discussion.
Back to normal tone.
Yeah.
So nothing household.
No, nothing I can think of that's been dramatic. We got a new vacuum cleaner, I guess.
Wow.
It has nothing to do with me.
Is it a Dyson? Is it?
Yeah, it's a new. It's one of those handheld ones with like the little mini cyclones.
Oh, right, okay.
It sounded different. That's why I noticed.
No,
I was like waking up in the morning. I was like, someone's vacuuming, but that doesn't sound like our vacuum.
Those actually sound kind of cool. Those ones with the super long straight spout, and then they advertise it on telly as having like, hey, do you want a wall mount for your Hoover?
Yes, do you want to have your
beautiful.
Hoover hanging up somewhere instead of just sitting in the cupboard on the floor?
That is the weirdest thing.
It's totally unnecessary. Also, it's so tiny, it just fills up really quickly.
Yeah.
Like that's sort of a major design flaw in like. I mean, it's
Well, yes,
also important.
it's designed for you to just do it in like every day, pretty much. You give it a quick go over, and you empty it that moment.
Yeah,
so,
that's not going to happen. Really.
No.
I mean, it might do with someone like me because I'm more inclined to do small jobs that don't take very long, as opposed to like going on an epic spree of stuff because I get bored.
Yeah, I don't do that. I leave everything until it's as maximum. It's like washing up. It's like I don't do washing up until there's literally none of the thing that I need to use, and then I'll do all of the washing up.
See, I don't like that. It's like I'm a little on edge because there's quite a lot of washing up sat in the kitchen right now.
Just to be aware, Rob is mildly tense right now.
Because there's a pile of washing I know that's there, and I'm not going to do it tonight because, you know, you're here.
Yep.
And it's like, I need to be having good times, not bad times.
Exactly. It's fucking E-Star.
I'm here to have a good time, not a wash time. That's my new...
Oh, wash time.
Hey, everyone. It's wash time.
As long as it's not freaking ironing time, jeez, it takes freaking ages.
I wouldn't know.
I watch Giant Bomb Quick Looks while I'm ironing now. That's my new thing.
Okay, that's actually a good idea.
Yeah, that sort of works. Okay. And your videos, I'm sure, Final Fantasy.
Good save.
Okay.
and happysalad.net content. Check us out. Anyway, I think you have because you clicked on the play button or the download
It's
button.
like
or
our last
something.
Final Fantasy video has all of 4 views so far, which is lower than
Well,
average.
Wow, that's a new record.
It's been
That's
up for like
crap.
2 weeks, hasn't it?
I don't
Yeah.
think I've watched that one, so don't worry. I'll add.
Okay, fine.
I'll add 7. I'll add 1 there.
In fairness, it was,
Jesus.
no, the last. Oh, I haven't done the major story one though. Is it? The last one was kind of just mopping up
Well, we ran
Shit,
around in those
and the
fucking tunnels
and the
fought a boss.
and the Shinra building again.
Yeah, okay, that bit was a bit fun.
Thing is,
I
things
can
always
understand
start
why
off.
people might be skipping that.
I don't think people are skipping it though. I don't think with like our apparent 7 viewers that we have on a regular basis, they just take some time to get to it.
We have a loyal audience of people we don't know for this Final Fantasy stuff. Of, as you say, not very many people. But we must finish off the job. Like we don't want to disappoint these 7 people.
No, come on.
Well,
it's a good
it's
document.
not to do with disappointing people at this point. I just want to do it.
Yeah.
Well,
it's
sure.
good to have.
I've never seen the end of the game, so
No.
that'd be something.
No, and this is much further than I've ever got with FF7. So
Is it further than you've got then?
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Well, not
Oh.
that we've uploaded so far, but we have recorded further than I've
Okay.
got. So spoilers for future podcasts. There'll be a bit where I don't know what's going on any longer.
So what's your hour count?
oh god, you've just reminded me of what the fuck happened.
Yeah, we've got
Oh.
some editing to do.
Oh.
Fun time.
Oh,
Our hour
man.
count is like 35,
Okay.
but we have been pretty much mainlining it. We haven't needed to grind, and we haven't really been doing that much of the side
Okay.
quests, apart from ones that I remembered.
I think I spent like 40 hours on KOTOR when I first played it, so...
I spent over 120 hours in one game of FF8 doing all the side stuff, and I've never finished that game.
So as long as you remember, like we did with Final Fantasy VII, which bits are the totally unnecessary, really long side bits, so we can avoid those. Like in Final Fantasy VII, we haven't done any Chocobo moving or shit, because I know that I know what the end result of that is, but there's no reason to do it on the video.
It's not so bad in 8, I don't think, for stuff that is ultra tedious. Like, actually, the ultra tedious stuff in 8, if you want to do it well, is just the grind of combat. Like, and that's where most of my hours have gone, to be honest.
But that was my problem when I played.
And attempting fucking triple triad.
I think I've played 8 like twice.
We can skip triple triad.
Oh, really? We have to play at least a couple of times.
Yeah, we have to show what it is. But yeah, it's
because from the 2 times that I played 8, what I remember is I think the first time I got quite a long way in. Actually, I don't think I got off the first disc, but I got some way into the first disc.
It takes like a good, I don't know, I'd say 15 hours to get through the first disc.
Yeah, but then the second time I played it, I remember that I stopped almost immediately because I got entrapped by like obsession, where it was like the first enemy I found where I could draw fire, and I was like, well, now I need to get maximum fire. So I'll just fight this thing over and over and keep drawing.
That's where the time goes, because of the way the junction system works.
Because as soon as you see the opportunity to become better by junctioning, you're like, oh, well, fuck, now I just have to stand here and fight this one thing that I know that gives me this one thing that I need.
Yeah, infinitely. Yeah, that's where a lot of the time goes in FF8, is drawing magic. Because you can.
It's really dumb.
Yeah. Well, because the magic system isn't tied to magic points, you have a limited pool of magic uses. Like, you have 100 fires. And there's therefore you can only use fire 100 times. So.
And there's the classic unnecessary feature of the junction where you can, instead of just drawing it, you can draw and cast in one move. And it's like, why the fuck would you ever do that? Because 90% of the time, the thing you're casting it on is resistant to what the magic it has.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the least effective technique.
And you obviously get more of the thing just drawing it. You get like multiples usually. You don't just get the one.
Well, does it not just use one if you use one out of its pool, and then if you draw, you get the rest of them? Or can you only do one or the other?
Yeah, I don't think you can do that in the same turn.
Well, not in the same turn, obviously, but I meant like subsequent turns.
Oh, yeah, if you draw separately from the insta-draw cast, which I'm not even sure is the thing, I can't remember.
Because, that would save you if you got to 100, then you could just cast it off the enemy and not have to use your pool, but then you'd be casting it onto a thing that's probably resistant.
I'm looking forward to doing this, because FF8 is one of my favourite games.
You like FF8 more than ever.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of FF8.
At this point, I'm looking forward to Final Fantasy 9, so, maybe in like 2 years' time.
Yeah, FF9 would be cool as well. I never really got into 7.
I mean, you could just keep going, couldn't you? You could do 10.
Yeah. Well, 10's probably the limit, actually, because, we could do 10. 10's
do 10.
But I've never played 12, so I'd have to get hold of a copy of 12.
Yeah, I've never played 12. And I'm only interested in that because of it being
it's
the
weird.
Final Fantasy Tactics universe.
Yeah, and it's a bit
with
weird.
some of the Final Fantasy Tactics mechanics.
I saw something the other day, which is somebody had made Final Fantasy Tic Tacs with the logo, with the Tactics logo and everything. I thought, oh, that's pretty cool.
That's clever.
Because they were selling Phoenix Downs at one point, but they were a bit shitty. Or potions, or just potions.
Just potions, yeah. I remember the potions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened. Use!
Oh, what about you? Have you not got any random crap?
Well,
I know
most of my last 2 weeks, I'm not entirely sure
you
I
don't
can
want to talk about.
on
I wouldn't bother then. Okay.
It's work bullshit. And
in
the unlikely circumstance that someone I work with listens to this.
No, don't want to talk about that stuff. Coolio. What have we got in news? This is a podcast about video games, as you will have gathered, because unusually we're talking about video games.
Talked about Final Fantasy for a bit. Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah, who'd have thought? Do you want to know what schools in Cheshire are doing?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, what's going on in Cheshire?
It's very important.
I lived there for a while.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, of course you did. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
Schools in Cheshire, right? Apparently, if they catch kids who have been exposed to 18-rated video games, whilst obviously under 18 and at school, they consider that a form of parental neglect and have started potentially, actioning of that.
So basically they're just creating a lot of work for some people who are not going to care about it. It's like they're going to be like, neglect. We're going to have to get the government in there, and then the government agency for that is just going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Fuck off.
Probably. I mean, to a certain degree, I do think it is shitty parenting if you then personally, and this is not for everyone, obviously. You raise your kids as you want. I don't care.
Yeah.
But to me, I would not expose my kids to 18 rated games until I thought they were perfectly mature. Now, what is unclear, what I'm not 100% sure is at what age group they were looking at for this. I got the impression that it was kids who were 13 or something, being exposed to GTA, for instance, which is probably bad.
Probably bad. I mean, obviously. When did GTA come out? 97? I was 13.
Yeah,
exactly.
We are not the right people to perhaps be arguing this.
Dad isn't.
But then again, old school.
We did better.
But then again, old GTA.
You, Dad.
I would argue.
Come on, Double Drag. We played Double Drag when we were 10 or whatever.
Well, what was the rating on that? I mean, did it even have a rating? Was it pre-rated?
It was pretty violent.
It might have been a T for teen in those days, or that sort of equivalent. But...
Didn't your dad lock it away at some point? It was
at some point?
Yeah.
It took a long time. We played it a fucking lot before that
happened. Double Drag before.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we finished the game multiple times.
Yeah. Where you had to fight each other for some reason to kiss the girl for some reason. We were like, you won, you had to kiss the girl.
I don't wanna. Yeah. So this is a thing. I don't know. I if you look back at it though, if you were to compare games I don't know, Quake and GTA of that era compared to I don't know, Call of Duty and GTA of today's era.
I guess, yeah.
I think the modern version is much, much worse.
Sure, I guess. Anyway, I think...
Because the old games are conceptual only, I suppose, whereas the modern games are, you see and do this stuff.
Yeah. I think it sounds reasonable. I think it could be...
to
a point, it depends where they've drawn the boundaries, but...
if you say it's the same as films, then, I think, showing kids 18-rated films is
sure, and I wholeheartedly agree it has to be based on your judgment of the kid's maturity.
Yeah.
Because there are people I know whose kids, I think, are definitely capable of dealing with this at an earlier age than the rating.
Sure.
And cases where that isn't true also. I know of both.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not 100% sure that is the school's responsibility, but I think parents should not be shitty parents. There you go.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing to flag it. It's not like they're flag it up. It's probably
it depends on how much this parental neglect status that they could suggest from this. How much weight does that carry?
Yeah, I think it probably can't go that far.
No,
I mean maybe if it's combined with other things, if they actual neglect, then I think it should be considered alongside other warning signs.
Well, once we get to the future of I guess Wii use only more so when you can take a screen into school and have that be your game console when it's attached to your game console at home. That'll be when that will come in, because then you'll actually be able to see if they're playing Call of Duty, because they'll be playing it right there and then you'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? Don't play that on school property.
I mean, sure, technically you could probably do that if kids had Vitas.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking about that. And 3DSs, but there's nothing 18 on 3DS.
Nope.
Well, there probably actually is 1 or 2, but probably not anything anyone plays on 3DS.
Resident Evil, I suppose.
Well, is there a Resi 4 on DS?
Oh, there's the Revelation series.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. As close as you get. Oh, it's not cool. It's just the interesting UK story of the last 2 weeks.
That's what reminded me of a bit of news that I hadn't remembered up until this point, so that was good.
Go for it.
OnLive is shut down.
Ah, yes it is.
Is it?
Sony bought all their patents up, and they're shutting down, but they would have shut down anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's everyone's like, ooh, boo, Sony anti-competition, they bought it and they shut it down, but that's not the story at all.
It was competition, and OnLive wasn't competing.
No.
That was what, it's not anti-competition, it's competition working out as the way it was inevitably.
And it's still up in the air as to whether PlayStation Now is actually
going to work properly.
Anyway, yeah.
But one of the things that's part of the story was OnLive, the California company, was once valued at $2.1 billion. It's like, you idiots! No, that was never worth any money. No. What do you think? Oh.
It's too early. It's too early for that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, even there's the question of whether it will ever be ideal because of latency and all that stuff.
Yeah.
How do you overcome a lot of that?
You never know.
Over the
but
interwebs.
It is too early.
Well, yeah.
It's definitely too early to discount it. But You never know with like technology, do you? It's like the VR stuff. It's like it's all come from the mobile phones pushing that tech. But I don't think there's any real pressure to like massively reduce latency across long distances. Really? Maybe there is. Maybe it's like that. Maybe for some space thing or something, there's some pressure for it. There certainly is for like trading, but that's very very niche.
Yeah, I mean, there probably exists branches of research for everything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the big thing that I hear about at the moment is things like HTTP2. For effectively for reducing server load more than anything.
Yeah, I mean that's really good, but I mean they won't have used that protocol, for online. But even so, that will be really good for the internet and the web,
and it's still a long way off, really.
Yeah, well, speedy is. Anyway.
Yeah, it exists, but it'll be a while before it's everywhere enough.
Yeah, that's true. To be but yeah, on live. So what happened if you had one of those little on live boxes like last year? Did it work? Could you play shit?
I think it was one of those things that might have been restricted based on certain locations.
Yeah, probably.
Like I don't think
they probably wanted to restrict it regardless.
I don't think it ever fully rolled out.
Right. Because I mean, it's whether they had the cloud stuff to even serve like the latest games at the and stream that shit.
Yeah, I mean
that was the promise, wasn't it?
Unless it took off in a big way, that thing was always going to be a difficult. The costs of running the service were always going to be enormous.
Yeah, and it's so interesting that Dave Perry came out and did his Gaikai talk on the PS3 reveal, and like zero has come of it yet. Was it Gaikai?
Yeah,
Dave.
Perry.
Yeah,
but that's what I mean. They got bought, But that PlayStation Now is a thing.
Oh yeah,
it's available in parts of the US and stuff like that. It exists, but it's not blowing up, and we can't see it yet. So I don't think it will. Personally, my prediction is I don't think PlayStation Now is will be a good enough of a service for many types of game. Actually, for things like the Final Fantasies.
Well, yeah.
And games like that, and games which aren't latency intensive.
Apart from Final Fantasy Now is, because they've changed it to be in...
Sure, it's active now, isn't it? Yeah, but, for games like that, sure, fine, whatever. This might be good for that, but, I don't know, for most games, don't see it. Just don't see it as it stands. But don't stop the research, seriously. It's probably worthwhile something to look into, I guess, but...
Speaking of PlayStation and things that are shut down, PlayStation Home shut down.
Yeah.
You can no longer dance with the top half and bottom half of your body differently.
In fairness, I think they patched that out a long time ago.
Yeah, I thought that was already gone.
Yeah.
Well, now you can't do it. I guess I haven't looked at the same life, but maybe you can. It's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Well, that's definitely still there.
Yeah, I think they patched that out a long time ago, but man, was it hilarious. That was back when Home first launched. That's the only time I've used Home was when it first launched.
Yes, naturally.
What else is going on
in the city?
Speaking of things that have been shut down, the release of Zelda this year. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I was about to say there's quite a lot of release news going on.
Zelda delayed.
Zelda is delayed. Yeah. That's a big crapper.
It's probably quite bad for the Wii U. I think it's probably good for the game, obviously.
Well, obviously there's a lot of conjecture that now that NX has been announced, that Nintendo are seriously winding down Wii U stuff, which is no surprise, I don't think. But NX is probably at least 2 years off.
Yeah.
Well, or is it? Are they just going to use this Zelda for the transition again,
like they did with the
Twilight
Wii?
Princess?
Yeah.
But then again, like the Wii U hasn't had a good. All the other generations before still had this is the Zelda for this platform, right? Because
did they?
Skyward Sword on the Wii.
I heard that potentially my PAL GameCube copy of Twilight Princess might actually be worth money.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because nobody bought it on the GameCube.
Is it rare enough?
I don't know if it's quite rare enough, but anyway, if I keep it, maybe it will be. Because that's it wasn't widescreen. That was the main problem.
That is the biggest problem.
But otherwise, it's pretty damn good.
I mean, you could, using Dolphin or something, you could map pretty much most of the motion controls to non-motion controls. Apart from, aren't there certain bits of that where you actually have to fly objects around? I can't remember. It's just pointing, isn't it?
What do you mean fly objects around?
Sorry, no, that's Skyward Sword, isn't it? We have to use the motion controls to fly things about the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just had pointing stuff, didn't they, in Twilight Princess?
Yeah.
Like the archery and stuff. and the Windamarang.
Did the Twilight Princess Archery have the pullback, or was that something else?
No, you didn't have to do. I think you just used buttons on the controller. And
there was a special game, wasn't there, like a mini game?
Well,
like,
yeah, but I mean,
Link's Archery Training, which had the whole zapper attachment thing.
Yes, because it was a crossbow.
Yeah, crossbow training. That's it. Yeah, yeah, that was dumb. I mean, the Move Archery game had you doing the full pullback and stuff because you had to play it with two controllers. Ideally,
I'm sure I could remember doing it on a Wii game at some point with the nunchuck. And
how would it detect that?
So some miscellaneous way that the Wii detects that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Inaccurately is the answer.
The Moves version of that.
Well,
was
no, but
cool.
the Wii did have forwards backwards on the Wiimote, so you're holding the button on the nunchuck in front and then moving the Wiimote back because it can detect depth.
Maybe, but that was always rubbish.
Right, yeah, that's why I said inaccurate.
Yeah. The as I say, the Move version was really awesome because you'd use it actually was pretty accurate. You pull it back, and then release a button on the rear controller to fire. It was quite good. And to actually start, you actually have to move your right hand into your quiver to get your arrow out.
Yeah.
And it's like, that was cool. They thought that one through. And the Move controller is accurate enough to make that work. Damn the Move. That's one of those technologies that probably should be much cooler than Sony made it.
They wanted to use it, they did a bunch of stuff in that same PS3 reveal conference with the Move, being like, you can use it to create art and 3D models and shit.
Yeah, and they've never really capitalized on it. But that's Sony all over. I've always said this. Sony always do that. They create a cool piece of tech and under-support it. PS3 and PS2 have probably been the only recent examples of them not falling into that hole. Because I would argue that PS4 is starting to fall into this hole.
It's pretty damn good as a straight up game console without any added crap.
And third party support is good.
Yeah.
But Sony support at the moment, given all the delays and stuff, seems kind of poor. And the same happened on PSP. Sony support was pretty much all it had, and that wasn't great.
Mm.
And the Vita has no support apart from indies.
Yeah. Which is quite nice.
Which is quite nice. Yeah, it's quite appropriate actually, because that means that the games that are suitable for handhelds are actually arriving on a handheld.
And a decent handheld that has buttons and a controller that isn't a phone.
Yeah, so there's something to that.
Oh my god. In other Wii U Nintendo news, there's a super speedy mode on Mario Kart.
I was going to carry on release schedules, but yeah, fine, we'll stick with Nintendo. Yeah, the 200cc mode will be launching April 23rd, which, along with the second half of the DLC, which is earlier than anticipated, because they had always said it will arrive in May, and they've brought the DLC date forward by
like a week.
Yeah, by at least a week.
Oh well.
But yeah, according to initial reports, the 200cc mode is actually pretty speedy.
It looks I've seen some videos of it. It looks it looks quite hard to get. I don't know how they're getting around the tracks because it looks really fast.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? You can't design all your tracks with 150cc being the maximum, then just be like, just turn up to 200, it'll be fine.
That's what I mean. You have to adjust the handling and stuff, so the handling actually is also quicker as well,
tighter,
right?
Yeah. I imagine so.
It just requires more of the player, rather than actually being weird, I suppose.
I think it will break some of the tracks.
Oh, well, sure, but then a lot of the track design actually in the modern Mario Kart isn't actually that hardcore anyway.
Not really.
So it's the 200cc mode will probably actually make something of the tracks.
Make it more hardcore, for sure.
Well, it might theoretically make you have to brake, which is not something you virtually ever have to do in Mario Kart.
No. I think it'll be cool. I'm looking forward to it. This is kind of what I've been playing, but I might as well drop this in here. I've played the DLC now thus far.
Yeah, because I said I played some of that.
Yeah, I've played it now.
What do you think, man?
I see what you mean. The track design is kind of a little, not so sure.
It's a bit meh.
But the theming, man, they do a real good job on the theming.
That sound of theming is amazing.
Yeah, and the F-Zero theming is pretty awesome as well.
Yeah,
the way that at the start of the race, it does the old F-Zero sort of intro sound as well.
But then they bring back the stack of faces on the left-hand side of the screen. That's the important thing.
Oh no, they didn't.
Because that was actually Mario Kart as well.
That was an old Mario Kart thing. Yeah, but in Mario Kart 64, I think it had that.
Yeah,
but no, they didn't bring that back. The stack of faces isn't there.
Because that was an F-Zero thing.
Yeah, that was a GX thing. I don't know. Did they do that in X?
I think it was in X.
Okay.
I remember the really bad, like, what were probably like 32 pixel JPEGs stacked up in the corners.
It wasn't in was it the SNES variants though? I think it must. If it got introduced, it was probably in X.
Yeah, I think so.
Was there how many
F-Zero? I want to play a fucking F-Zero game. Come on.
Were there any? There was only one F-Zero on the SNES, wasn't there? The F-Zero, the original.
Was
there two?
Yeah.
Okay,
I think there was a sequel.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean, obviously, I played the GBA.
The GBA one,
That was classic.
Pump to win.
What was it called? F-Zero
Maximum Velocity, I think.
Or something. Yeah. I love that pumping mechanic.
Oh man, it got so tiring.
It was quite tiring, but I that combined with the air brakes was really nice.
Yeah, and the GBA wasn't the most comfortable thing to play that game on, unfortunately. But
well, the first variant of it was okay. Once it got to the SP, it was a little bit.
Everyone thinks the SP is great, but it's not.
It's not. No,
apart from the screen.
The screen's much better.
I don't like that form factor. It's small and stuff like that, but it's like it's good if you're a Pokemon player, I guess. But
yeah, it was good for Pokemon.
But for everything else, I'm not sure.
It was good for Gold and Silver.
It's probably okay for Advance Wars.
Gold and Silver? No. What were you on by that point? Like
you could have played Gold and Silver.
Yeah, it would have been.
Yeah.
If you wanted the card sticking
out. Yeah.
Would have been Ruby and Emerald. Or...
the two that we did play, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool. I'm excited for that. Just because, as I say, that first batch of DLC isn't bad. It's not amazing, but it's it's more tracks and it's good value. So I will get my use out of that. 200 cc's added bonus. So other release date news. Splatoon got a release date.
Mm-hmm.
Good for the Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
May 29th, we'll be saying that.
Mm-hmm.
So yay.
Are we getting that?
Yeah, I probably will be. Maybe not on launch. I don't know. We'll see how it pans out. See what the support's like for it.
If you don't get it on launch, you might be like have no other players within 2 weeks.
Yeah,
maybe you're right. Maybe I do need to just dive into that one. Yoshi's Woolly World and Mario Maker are on launch, on target for September-ish. On launch.
That'd be good.
They're on launch.
Time travelled.
Right now. Set for September releases.
Woo.
So, I don't know. Everyone had doubts whether Mario Maker would get far enough to actually be releasable. But I suppose
but it still might not be what everyone wants.
Yeah, it's not going to be what people want. It's not going to be what Jeff wants anyway.
No.
And it's also, not actually a game.
No.
And a new Fire Emblem got announced. Which isn't really Fire Emblem, but it's kind of Fire Emblem cross-Persona. So the Persona characters in a Fire Emblem game.
Well, they announced the actual Fire Emblem, the new one on 3DS, right? That's different from that, isn't it?
I thought it was the same thing. Or if there's another Fire Emblem game, I don't...
Because I think I talked about it on the podcast before, because I'd seen a little tiny bit of footage of the 3DS one where it's where it pans into the battle view, it does it more smoothly or whatever.
Maybe you're right, yeah. Well, okay, there's another crossover game coming.
There might be a separate one.
Then again, Hyrule Warriors, which is the last crossover, I suppose, that Nintendo did, hasn't been badly received.
You're by people who like those games.
Oh yeah.
I don't think that was the problem. I don't think that was the general public. That was people who already liked Dynasty Warriors.
Sure.
Dynasty.
But they didn't screw it up with Zelda, I guess. They didn't screw Dynasty Warriors up, if that's possible.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think you could really.
Dynasty.
Dan's looking at some pictures of Robin, apparently.
This is Fire Emblem trailer, apparently. Oh,
Some
some dude. Skip that shit.
That looks like 3DS to me, because it has that weird anime art style that the other one
That could have been anywhere, right?
Yeah. I think there is a new Fire Emblem, from what I can see.
It just says Fire Emblem. That's absolutely no help whatsoever.
Well, can you not tell from the characters? I don't know.
Yeah, but they won't use the same characters. I mean, they'll use characters who probably have the same name again in the way that they do, where Marth is just, here's Marth again.
Here's Marth.
Or here's a guy pretending to be Marth who's actually called something else, as it turns out. And the dragon, yeah, okay.
Hey guys, where's Advance Wars?
Yeah, exactly.
I know, dudes.
They've just released their other game, what's it called? Codename Steam.
Oh, yeah.
That's out, I guess.
That looks okay, if you ask me.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. It looks like it looks like a kind of poopy XCOM. And also doesn't look that great for a 3DS game, even, I would say. It looks a bit
it's probably
old school jaggedy.
Yeah, it might be doing a bit much for what the 3DS is capable of in terms of style, from what I've seen of
Because
that.
not to talk about something that I've been playing, apart from, I guess I haven't really this last 2 weeks, but at some point I put Luigi's Mansion 2 back in.
What?
And I was like, holy shit, Nintendo actually can get decent graphics out of the 3DS. I'd forgotten.
Yeah.
Because I've been playing,
Well, it's because it's limited
Theatre
scope.
Rhythm and...
Yeah.
It's because Luigi Mansion is quite limited in scope, isn't it? And he has to render a room, and...
Well, I don't know how it does how when you open the door the next room loads. I'm not actually sure. I think it might load quite a lot of the actual mansion at once.
Oh, yeah, but the old game did as well, didn't it? But it's like, but it only, there isn't a great deal on screen at any one moment.
Yes, but there's a lot of detail in what's on
Yeah.
screen. And
Yeah.
lighting effects and shit. And it's like,
Yeah.
wow, this actually looks awesome. It's actually like just a regular Nintendo game. It just looks like a Nintendo game.
The technical reasons aside, I mean, like, there's something, there's a style to focus on, quite heavily in that. It's not like they have to worry about, okay, now we're in the snow area, now we're in
But there's a snow
something
area.
area. Is there?
Yeah, the abandoned mines are up in the snowy hills and you are outside for some period of that level.
Alright then, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
No. But it's like, the main thing about it is just like, Luigi's model and stuff. It's like smooth. His nose is all smooth. Like it should be. It's not like 2 polygons.
Yeah, plenty of polys. Nice.
Or however they've smoothed out the edges or whatever.
Luigi has good dermatologist.
But yeah, it's like the models are good and stuff. And I'm like, holy shit, this is actually... The 3DS can actually do it. I'd forgotten. Because I've been playing games where the art is like a 2D sprite. For a long time.
Yeah.
And then, also not to talk about what I've been playing, I put in Meteos. And I was like, yeah, fucking Meteos.
Hells yeah, that game.
Into your DS Fat.
Yeah.
Right.
Not into my DS. Well, into my 3DS.
Into your 3DS.
Scale this up.
Even
Make it slightly easier to hit the right squares. In theory.
yeah. Even so, hells yeah, that game. Meteos was class. Should have had a proper sequel. A proper sequel.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow,
Not
what's
the
the
shit-
keep
There's not really
doing now
anything.
after Child of Eden?
I don't know, actually. I think
Just
it might,
given
be,
up?
it might be out of games,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Another one of those greats that just gives
Is
up.
it Mizuguchi? Is that the guy?
Sounds
Can't remember.
sounds right.
Release date news! Halo 5 has a release date.
Wait.
October 27th.
Well, standard.
As expected. Let's see if it slips when they realise their servers don't work.
Or like, it will slip to like November the 5th, and then it'll be too close to Call of Duty, and then it'll be like, oh no, which one of them's going to move? It won't be Call of Duty.
In fairness,
Surprise.
there's only 1 week of difference, so it's like, that's not a big deal.
Oh man, I saw one of those ads, and whatever. It's cool looking, but like for some reason I don't care about Halo anymore. I used to really care about Halo.
It's because Halo 4 was dumb.
Shut up, I like Halo. Oh, okay, Halo 4 is a little dumb, but I still like it. I'm still in.
It's not the
I wanna
game.
see what
It's not the
happens.
game that's the problem.
I want to see what
The
happens.
game is still the game.
How do they do Halo post Cortana? Or is that the point?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not going to.
Yeah.
Halo 5 is going to be fixing Cortana, and then Halo 6 is going to be like, she's fixed, but now she's discovered some secret while she was busted, so now we have to go and do a thing.
Now she's real.
or she becomes Evie and just gets a body. Just like, fuck it. She's a robot now. 2-player.
Yeah. Final bit of news.
So she's rampant, right? So let's turn her into a horse, and then she can actually be rampant.
Yeah.
Just put the glass down. It's not that complicated.
Final news, which
Punch the keys, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Yep.
Final news, which I have, which then actually reminded me of earlier, which is the Google Maps Pac-Man thing.
That's not
It's
news.
kind of news.
That's old.
Old.
It's way past April the 1st by this point.
It's still live.
Well,
You
yeah,
can
of
still do
course.
it. I did try playing the this local areas map, like play my house map.
I did need him.
Oh, okay, that's kind of cool.
What was your favourite April Fool's stupid thing? Stupid internet stupid thing.
There was some
I
fun
didn't
stuff
really see
on.
any.
I mean, the best thing for me, it wasn't April Fool, but the best thing to me was there was a new Strongman email with a new computer and everything. Anyway,
Hells yeah!
yeah.
I didn't see it, but hell's yeah.
He got rid of
That'll be the only
Pompey.
one for 6 months.
Yeah.
Again.
And now he has Lapierre. It's like Lappy, but Lapierre.
An accent on E.
Sorry?
Is it IER or is it with an accent on the E? Lafayette.
I think it's IER. I can't remember.
damn it.
I can't remember. Because Compay had an accent.
Yeah, exactly.
Compay. Yeah.
I think Geek had a ton of cool stuff, none of which I
Yeah.
can really remember. But
The cat thing, the Voltron cat thing was called. Do you see that?
Explain.
It's like a cat tree, you know, like a play
set for a
set
cat.
for a cat,
Oh.
you know. But it was literally Voltron. That was pretty cool.
That's
I
quite
like
neat.
that. And they had a steam-powered steam machine, which is
Yeah.
clearly not real, but
That's still funny.
yeah, that was kind of cool.
You kind of want that to be real.
It just looks really dangerous.
Yeah. And then there was the it's left my head. Carry on.
Well, I liked. I mean, it was very simple, but from the only one that actually made me laugh was YouTube's. They added a button that played little clips from Darude Sandstorm on every video, and you could like go Inception. You'd watch your Darude Sandstorm, and you were like, just by stabbing the button.
That's quite funny.
Because there's a whole. I don't know when it started, but there's a whole meme about Darude Sandstorm on
It
Reddit.
started on the videos on the internet.
Yeah, because that's an old song.
That's probably older
Yeah.
than Reddit as well.
Oh, it is definitely.
It's probably.
I've seen a lot of it
I would
later.
imagine.
Because nowadays the
2006.
meme is like, "What's that song?" And then,
And then you like to play with Darude Sandstorm,
everyone says,
regardless of what the song.
"Yeah, that's the stupid meme."
That's how. That
Oh, I
happened.
just remembered the Think Geek product that I thought was awesome and should really exist.
And then
Which
therefore
one?
will.
And therefore will, yeah.
It was the Nerf nuke.
How's that work?
It was basically a large bomb thing that you throw or get something to launch. But it was basically like a bit like a spiny fish, so it was just covered in dust.
Just fires their
Right.
dust in
So
all
when
the
it landed, it was like boom.
Well, it's just like a paintball grenade. It's like those exist. They
Yeah.
don't fucking work very well, but
Oh man, I've been right next to a paintball grenade when it goes off, and I've had that. You know, in like war games or war films where they do that whole ringing in the ear
Yeah.
thing.
yeah,
That is totally true.
Yeah.
from a paintball grenade.
Yeah, I was just sitting there going, "Wow, I can't hear nothing."
Because it has explosives in it, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much yeah.
That's quite dangerous, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
if
not
you're
that much explosive.
Yeah, only it's dangerous.
It's
if
not
like,
designed to
on your
like
face.
explode, like shattering. It's designed to shoot the paint out.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily break a shell
No.
as
That
much
would
as
be
just
very
like
dangerous.
launch paint out of a
No,
hole.
It's supposed to stay intact, but only
It's pretty
shoot
much
paint
like
out.
the Nerf nuke. Yeah, as you said.
Yeah. What did I see on? What else was on ThinkGeek? Oh yeah, the stupid selfie ring, so you could take like Matrix selfie shots of yourself. That was
That's kind of funny.
yeah. Yep. I don't know what in the world of gaming there was. Not much. I think.
No, not a great deal. I don't think there was more of a move this year. I think for people making a fuss of, "Hey guys, please don't do this."
Yeah.
I don't know if it actually was on 8. What day was April the 1st? Was it a Thursday? I'm trying to work it out.
Wednesday, maybe?
Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah.
Because there was naturally Space Engineers updates on Thursday, so there was an update in the vicinity, and I'm not sure whether they'd added the extra bit for April Fools, but it was just like one of them. New block, a ball that just bounces around. Apart from it's not like an April Fool's thing, it's like an actual functional block in the game, where it's like, you can attach this to your ship and then it bounces.
Oh, Dan's just watching the Dying Light April Fool's thing, which is like basically low gravity physics sort of and stupid
So
stuff.
you can kick zombies, and when they hit stuff, they explode into
Yeah.
gibs. Okay.
That's not April Fool's, that's just
No.
how that game should be, clearly.
Yeah.
It's just ludicrous gift mode.
Yeah.
That's pretty dumb.
It's just what you want. That's an option. Turn it on.
Turn on ludicrous speed.
Yeah, you could play through the whole game like that. That might sell me on it. Yeah, that's all I got for news. Unless anyone else has anything.
Yep, that sounds about it. Oh yeah, the Dirt 3 thing. We should mention that because I think that's cool. 'Cause we like
the
that game.
complete collection
Well,
that came out, didn't it?
well, complete edition is out, but existing owners get free update to complete edition.
What?
Yes.
Oh, sweet.
So, which has no
Even more content I won't get around to playing.
So, if you have it on Steam, you get all the stuff, and they've taken out the Games for Windows Live shit. And
I'll never get those Chivos.
and that's the end of news.
I didn't know about that last one. That's kind of cool.
It's time for what you've been playing. What you've been playing?
I've got a sort of news.
Okay.
It's like...
Sort of news.
Wait,
the middle section in
yeah.
between news and games.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I didn't
Sort of
include it
news.
in the real news, but I don't... you guys... It's something that Dan actually might be quite interested in.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm so surprised.
I mean, given that you've been playing like Homeworld of late,
I have.
I mean, it's not exactly the same, but I was introduced to the early footage of a game called Dreadnought,
Okay.
which looks to be... Okay, imagine you take the sort of... It's kind of like the scale of large ships in EVE and kind of like how they move and things like that. But then put yourself in direct control of them and make it a sort of deathmatchy 5-on-5 combat game out of giant motherfucking spaceships.
Okay. That sounds fun.
It looks real interesting.
Okay.
It's like, because they all move like really slowly and it's kind of a tactical battle thing.
Do you have to do like broadsides? And
Yeah.
stuff? Okay.
Shit that makes absolutely no sense in space.
Yeah.
But you don't do it from what I've seen, you don't do it in space. It's like on the surface of planets, so there are actually like like gorges and stuff to avoid and things.
Okay.
And,
Like some terrain
yeah.
of some form.
So that you could theoretically use if you wanted to.
Sweet.
I thought it looks kind of cool.
Okay, I'm going to check it out.
Yeah. Worth looking at. I got introduced to it over the weekend, and it's just like, oh, why did I not know about this? This looks interesting. It's a UE4 game as well,
Cool.
so it's quite pretty. One of the few UE4 games that are actually getting made, I think. But so yeah, top tip. Keep an eye on that one.
Top
And
tip.
it's made by Jaeger, who are the guys that made Jaeger back in the Xbox days,
Oh, yeah.
and more recently Spec Ops: The Line.
Yeah, okay.
So. An interesting team who make interesting games.
Yeah.
One to keep an eye on.
A little bit off the beaten track or
Yeah.
a little bit out there.
Oh, those crazy Germans.
Coolio. We've been playing Zachary Burgess. I want to know what you've been playing and what you've been
not actually playing.
not
yeah.
playing.
Well, so that reference is to something that I mentioned before the podcast, which is over the last week, I guess, because they decided to make it a long one. There's been the Giant Bomb Game Jam.
Oh, yeah.
Which, like, I'd say the majority of people took not really as a game jam as much as a period to just make a game yourself.
Right.
I'm not sure there's very much teamwork going on. I've seen, like, one or two people who are like, me and this other guy. He's my friend in real life, so we're just doing this. And it's like, there's not really collaboration as such.
So was it like a real game jam that there were like time limits imposed?
Well, yeah, just like this. It's just like a week, including the weekends at both ends, because we want people to actually have enough time to work
yeah,
on
not like a
things.
crazy strict 48-hour jam or whatever they do.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I made a shit game.
Tell us about
I
that.
only really started on Wednesday because I kept getting distracted by other things. Guess what? So
I guess we'll find out what.
yep. So I went into Game Maker, and then I was like, maybe now I can actually make a game which actually has a beginning and an end and stuff. Because like, if I'm restricted to this time period where I actually have to make a game that has a beginning and end, then I'll actually make something that actually has a beginning and end. I'll actually think about it and like make a complete thing.
Plan it out somewhat.
Yes. And then I came up with a dumb idea that really doesn't have all that much to do with Giant Bomb.
What was the brief? It had to be Giant Bomb.
That's it.
related.
It's just like Giant Bomb related. But then, like, so there's lots of, there's other people have made things where there's like, there's a stealth game where you have to sneak around the office picking up Metal Gear Solid. Because, that makes sense.
Hiding in the mailbag or whatever.
Well, hiding in the cubicles, avoiding Jeff as he walks past, and flat falling on Jeff. As you do.
That's quite funny.
So, there's that kind of thing. And then my one was the obviously hilarious Vinny Caravella Cable Manager 2013.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
That's really funny already.
It's not really. Because it's basically...
Untangle Simulator.
Yeah, it's basically... There's like 5 cables. Already this is a bit ridiculous, but there's 5 cables. There's the R, G, and B cables, separate individual cables, and the left audio and right audio.
Okay.
And it's on a 90-second timer, and then, like, over time the cables wear out, and you have to unplug them and get a new one, and then plug it back in, and then, like, while the cables are plugged in, you get score for that cable. But if the cables are straight, you get more score. So you have to keep replacing cables as they wear out. But also in between those moments, you're trying to jiggle the rest of the cables so they're more straight.
Okay. So how do they get even? How are they not straight?
Because it spawns them randomly.
Oh.
When you get a new cable, it creates them in a random zigzag.
Ah.
And as you're dragging the cables around to make them straight,
So is it like a grid?
No, not really.
Okay.
Well, it's like, basically the cables have like 4 points. There's like the bottom end and the top end, and then 2 bits in the middle that you can manipulate.
Oh, I see.
To make like a Z shape.
Oh, so
And then as you drag the middle bits backwards and forwards, if you go over any of the other cables, it jiggles them slightly. So like while you're trying to arrange one, you're slightly dislodging the arrangement of the others.
Ah. Okay.
So talk us through how you made this thing, because that sounds a little bit physicsy.
No.
In terms of...
It's a fucking XY position. What are you talking about?
So you're only moving the X position of that point for each cable, and when you go over another cable, it jiggles, it adds or subtracts a random amount from that one.
Yep. So how I did it.
Oh, I see.
Classic.
Okay.
The more complicated stuff was the effects. Well, if you can call them effects.
Da-da-da-da.
Well, so the first thing is obviously when the different cables degrade, it has different effects. So, like when the red cable degrades, it turns off the red channel. Only doesn't totally turn it off because then if they all degrade, you wouldn't be able to see anything. Because that would be a problem. So it's actually.
Instead of using RGB, right? Because like, could you do what like composite leads are and have like the CRC something or whatever it is in the Y channel?
Yeah, you could in theory, but it's easier because the game maker color system you can choose.
Oh yeah, no, I meant just as like
RGB or hue saturation value.
Okay, I meant just to make it, like real cables.
Well, RGB cables are real as well, just not normally as entirely separate cables.
This is true.
HSL, isn't it?
Yeah. So, but technically that effect isn't properly. It's not like there was 2 options. You can either entirely disable the color channel, so you could just like turn off red. But then, as I said, then when if all 3 cables simultaneously die, then you can't fucking see anything because it just turns off all the colors.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, well, that's no good. But then the other way that you can do it, you can program shaders, and I was like, that looks too difficult, so don't have enough time to fuck around with that. But the way I did it was just like a blend mode. So it's like when the red cable runs out, it blends a lower proportion of red, but they're still red.
Yep.
So when they all run out,
when
they all run out, it just looks dark.
Right,
it's like it's not colourless.
Yeah.
Which is a simplification, but it's okay.
That sounds okay.
And then the audio,
unless you could have made like it so you have to do it with audio cues only. Like you
that
move the mouse around and it'll show you like the highlights you can grab onto or something. But can you like audio cue your way to victory?
And then the audio just has left channel, right channel. So when those cables turn out, it moves the sound into the correct speaker.
Nice.
So that's casual. And then obviously the most important effect for the Vinny Caramella action is the TriCaster. You got to implement the TriCaster somehow.
Right.
Which I did by making the hardest fucking part of the game, where it basically does a split screen effect. Only it just reorganises the parts of the screen to a different order. So, like, the top half of the screen goes to the bottom, and the bottom half go to the top but swapped. Right. It makes it fucking impossible to actually play.
Awesome.
For, like, 30 seconds, but,
Can you play it in that mode, then?
You can. I mean, because you're clicking and dragging on the different bits of the cable, if you drag from one screen to the other, it just snaps to the new position.
Right.
So it's like, it's not as if you're manipulating it through the views on what would be the normal, it's actually manipulating within the views. So it's well confusing. Especially if you're trying to make a cable straight, because you're like, okay, on the bottom half I've got it straight. And then you look at the 2 top halves and it's like, oh, there's a giant zigzag because the top bit is on the opposite side from where it should be.
I have to say, this sounds pretty cool for a simple game.
That sounds very bizarre.
It's done.
Is there a location where people can acquire this?
You can go to the Giant Bomb forums at the moment and find the Game Jam topic and go to the website that it's all hosted on. I don't remember what the website is called. There's a special hosting site for Game Jams, basically.
Okay, I'm sure you can find it.
Yeah. You
can make a special WordPress
definitely,
entry.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I brought the file, so you can just shove that
we should do a
onto our
video.
server.
We should do a video.
I don't know if you're going to need a whole video.
5-minute video.
5-minute video, yeah.
Yeah, lightning video. People like
the game only lasts 90 seconds.
It'd be popular. 5-minute video. 3-minute video.
Yeah.
So
how long is
what's it called?
Anyway.
What's it called again?
Vinny Caramella's Cable Manager 2013.
Good game.
Because obviously
2013. Because now
he's not in that office any longer, and I used old audio for an old UPF where they were all there.
That's quite funny that you just backdated it.
Well, there.
Awesome.
Classy.
Yep.
So your experience with Game Maker was quite good then? Like, just in general? Like, as a tool?
How's it compared to the old ye olde Games Factory shit?
Well, it's not exactly... Well, my trouble with it is I still hadn't really got my head around like how the different events happen and how you can use different events. Because you can either use actual code...
Yeah.
And the code just triggers the same events as the events, but then the events are like... So if you... One of the first things I did was making the click and drag system. And I did it in code where it was like, if you press the left mouse button and the mouse cursor is over an object, which is of the family, the cable parts, then while you're holding the mouse button down, it follows it. Well, so like that. But you could also, theoretically, I think, have done it by... It's got this weird system for grouping objects where you assign them a parent object and then it creates a hierarchy from that. But obviously you can only have one parent per thing. Right. So basically in my hierarchy, I've got the individual cable parts. They have a parent that's for the colour of cable, and then the coloured cable parents have another parent for all the cables. All the cables, yeah. So in theory, you can program in like the all cable parent, use the mouse click event on that object, and then that trickles down into all the other ones. So you can program it that way, which is awkward. That's what was confusing me for ages, because it's just like the mouse. When I'm using code, I'm programming it in like the step event, so it's like every game step it runs this code. But then like the mouse event, you put it in this special event, which isn't the step event, and I didn't think of it as like happening every frame, even though it does. Because it's like the step event is like always, it's just like, I guess it's like always in Games Factory, I guess.
Right.
Like every step it happens.
Okay,
yeah.
Whereas the other events are triggers, but you don't necessarily have to use them. You can program them by code for effectively the same thing.
So do you get out of interest compared to what I do you get a mouse click down event and mouse up event?
You can have up and down.
And do you have a mouse move event, like every frame that it moves?
I don't know if it...
Maybe that's something you have to detect yourself.
Yeah, I don't know if there's an actual event for move. Maybe you can just get the mouse XY coordinates and then work it out.
So you'd say, okay, while mouse down, then every... What do you call it? Turn?
Every step.
Check the
position and set
Is that what you're
position.
doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Set its XY coordinate to the mouse.
Yeah. Interesting.
And then that, like, the parent hierarchy thing has other weird effects that kind of confuse me to some extent as well, where it's like if you put programming in the parent object, it trickles down into the child objects. But if you then put programming in the child object in the same event, that overwrites unless you put in a special bit of code that tells it to also run that bit of code from the parent object as well.
You're literally learning like classical inheritance situation here. This is where you have override and whatever. And
although it is kind of dumb in one of my objects, it's the classic thing where
didn't you have this in your Java when you were doing the what was it, the Starbound mod, whatever?
Not really, because that's not really...
Okay.
It doesn't inherit stuff in the same way, I don't think.
Okay.
But, so there's if you want to do the inverse, it's like if you don't want it to inherit, you just put a bit of code in there that's just a blank comment, and that overwrites the parent's code.
Yeah, ugly.
It's like, that's not particularly great.
That's horrible. Yeah. It sounds a bit ghetto, I would say. But still, it's cool that it works. I mean, you obviously got something working, so that's awesome.
And also, I couldn't figure out the way it draws the cables is like it just uses a built-in draw function where it's just like draw a line of a width.
Yeah.
Which therefore means the cables are like a flat
jaggedy.
colour.
Flat colour and jaggedy. Okay.
There is a way to do it with like polygons, and then the polygons can have a texture.
Right.
But then I couldn't work out the math to make them not deform when the positions change.
The texture, yeah.
Well, the whole polygon. Because it's related to because you're basing it off a single point of the object, so when they rotate, you have to rotate the like ends of the polygon so it doesn't flatten or whatever.
Yeah.
I couldn't work that out in time. I was just like, fuck it, they're flat colour, that's fine.
That's probably fine.
And then I went on the internet and googled like carpet tile texture.
I tell you what you could do is you could make it just 3 or 4 lines.
I thought about that, but then I was like, that might actually be like bad for like. Because like your performance issue, it's just like you're using the same event over and over, and also like then you have to put the fucking draw events in the right order because you have to draw them from the back to the front in that case. And,
You would have to, yeah.
yeah, ordering is. I don't know why they don't
depends
give
on
you.
how the render chain works, I guess. Like if it's unless you've got a Z position somewhere and the render chain.
Well, you
takes
can
care of
set
it.
object depth, but the drawing lines are like a
It's
separate
a different thing. That makes sense to
So
me.
you'd have to draw them in the right order.
Yeah.
And I don't know,
Because all the object depth is doing internally is figuring out at every step like which one do I have to draw
first,
last.
Yeah. So anyway, because that's just how the rasterization works, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So you could have done it with a stack of lines, but then I was like, that seems a bit dodgy. And
Anyway, yeah.
So you're literally, when you say the draw function, it's literally just drawing to the screen buffer, not as an object in the world.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
that's what you use the draw event for. Anything that you do draw has to go in the draw event because for some reason they couldn't just work that out anyhow. You have to put it in there.
Right.
If it says draw in the function name, put it in the draw event, or otherwise it won't fucking do anything. That kept getting me
Don't
as well.
sound ghetto as hell.
So it must have a built-in, like, proper, like, rendering system.
Well, if
for,
you can
like,
write
laying-
shaders, then definitely it has.
Yeah,
Right?
Well, you don't need
you can-
shaders for that stuff.
No,
like,
but
just
if
You
you
use
can,
D3D functions
yeah,
if you want.
you must be able to
I
directly.
was about to
draw.
say, you must be able, like, you know, like any decent games or 3D engine or something, like, put this object here, it looks like this.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then,
yeah, that's
and then like the render engine takes care of what it needs to cull and stuff based
Yeah,
on
That's the
position
traditional
or
way.
total obscuring and all that stuff.
That was
That would be the
that was-
object way.
probably the hardest part was getting the stupid split screen thing to work because you have to. They're basically like viewports, so it's like a little window that shows you part of the original
Of the
view.
world, yeah.
Mm.
But in order to do that, you have to like tell it not to render the whole screen, and then turn on all the viewports, and then tell the individual viewports which part of the original screen. And basically, it automatically draws the whole screen every frame or whatever.
Mm.
And so, in order to use these viewports, you have to tell it not to do that, and then you have to manually tell it to draw the individual parts, and then do that color changing manipulation in that draw frame as well.
Yeah, it sounds totally
It
reasonable.
was a pain. For ages, I couldn't work out. That's one of the things where it's really annoying to debug because it's like if you do it wrong, you just get a black screen. And it's like that doesn't really tell you what it's not doing.
Yeah.
It's just like it's not rendering anything. That doesn't really tell me why it's not rendering anything. It's just not.
Yeah, that sort of chain though sounds totally reasonable, totally normal.
So I shut this thing out, and someone said that the scoring was extremely generous, which I didn't want to use single points because I wanted to have.
Well, it looks
100
cool.
points.
Yeah.
Well, you get 200 points per cable while they're plugged in, so that's 1,000 points per second. But then if the straighter they are, you can get up to another 200 points per cable, so you get 2,000 points per second.
It's pinball scoring. That's what it is.
But it's not quite pinball scoring.
90s pinball
You
scoring.
don't go after millions. Maximum score is theoretically 180,000. Apart from that's literally impossible. Mainly because in order to get the maximum scoring for straightness, you have to be pixel perfect,
Mm.
which is literally impossible.
And you have to do it instantly.
Yeah, and you have to do it.
I don't know, man. I think it sounds pretty cool.
I don't know.
Especially for like half a week or
Well,
whatever
yeah, I
it was. Yeah.
I think I couldn't work out how long to make the cables last was my main problem. Because it's like,
Before they
how frantic is too frantic?
You have to just playtest that, unfortunately.
Yes.
You need to get feedback because
But
you
I
can't
could-
decide yourself, really.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't play it enough to get any sense of it myself.
Yeah, it's hard.
And also, it was like the matter of like, it's not just how long they last. It's like how long do they last always, and then how long is the random extra bit? Like, what's the base life, and then what's the randomization on it?
Mm.
Do you go up and down? Do you go just up?
Mm.
So I ended up with like these cables last 20 seconds plus an extra 15 seconds random plus an extra random 15 seconds.
Mm.
But then that doesn't actually work, of course. I realised afterwards that I needed to do something different because when you start the game, they all have a life of at least 20 seconds because they're all generated fresh. But then as soon as one runs out, you unplug it, plug it back in, you reinforce that thing of them all being approximately the same age. It's like in theory, if you wanted to score better, you should unplug one every 5 seconds, regardless of whether it's good or not, because then
Yeah,
you'd
right,
space
yeah.
them out better and give you more time to do arrangement.
Ah, genius.
Tactics.
Yeah. It's amazing how simple set of rules can endanger like a whole bunch of different, like chess or whatever. It's like not that complicated rules, but it's insanely complicated game.
Well, arguably chess has not that complicated rules.
Okay.
Unless you want to talk about the actual complicated rules of chess.
Yeah,
The
okay,
rules
okay.
that rules that
people
normal
don't.
people don't really pay attention to.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, bad example. But yeah,
All the rules that some normal people know and then don't use in an appropriate way. Like casting.
yeah.
Always castle, even though it's the worst possible thing
Thing
in
to do.
most cases.
Yeah.
It's just funny. I can do this weird move, so I'm gonna.
So I'm gonna do it.
What's castling?
It's the one where if you have the king and the rook in their starting positions, you can move them so they cross over and land on the squares over each other opposite.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
And you can do it from both
Only
sides, and it's slightly different on each side because one of the rooks is slightly further away on the other side. It's completely fucking useless, though.
It's extremely dumb.
So yeah, that's a strange rule. I didn't know that. I'm going to use it in all my extensive chess career matches.
Yep. It's like no one ever remembers to do en passant. If you want to be fancy.
Yeah.
Although that's actually really important theoretically.
When does that come into?
It's like if the pawn hasn't moved, so it still has its square movement, it can capture by going past rather than landing
over.
on the square.
Right.
What did you call it?
En passant.
It's en passant.
En passant.
En passant. It's en passant.
Yep. It's French.
En passant.
In passing, right? En passant.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Well, yes, that would make
have
sense.
to ask my friend.
From its manoeuvring. Whoever does it. I mean, come on.
So, games.
I used to do it all the bloody time, just because.
Well, exactly. It's
Yeah.
like castling. Once you know it exists,
Yeah.
you just have to do it.
So, are there going to be any more games coming out of your brain anytime soon?
Out of your
I
brain.
doubt it.
Or do they have to be game jams involving bombs of a giant variety?
Well, when it's a short enough time that it's just like I don't know how I came up with that idea. It's just like I just came up with the idea and then it was like, oh, that's small enough that I can make it. It's like it was the perfect combination of time length and idea.
Yeah,
It's just about doable.
but if you look at Gunpoint, it's not that complicated an idea at first, but then it expands on it.
I don't know. It's
Oh,
like
yeah, that must get quite complex to make, that thing.
Yeah, but that's not maybe Game Maker.
Yeah.
the actual like cabling mechanism of Gunpoint is like that's probably quite complicated.
Mm.
Especially if you're talking about linking things in chains.
Yeah, but you don't start with that, do you? With the
You
chaining.
do sort of. Like you always have that's the whole point of the game. You have the linking thing.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
Link shit together. So yeah, there was that. And then in terms of what I played, I'm trying to remember if there was other things apart from cities. Obviously, played quite a lot more cities because there's still achievements to get, I guess. But it seems like my other cities have been growing a lot slower than my original one. I think it's because I've been paying too much attention to like traffic and stuff. Because, like I said, the game doesn't necessarily exactly care about traffic. It's like shit just despawns after a while, and like people will stand at bus stops for an infinite amount of time,
Right.
or maybe not infinite. I have occasionally thought that I've seen people like disappearing or turning back into a car, as they do sometimes. They
People turn into cars.
They just turn into a car.
They go, bing!
I've given up on this. I'm commuting via car.
Well, yeah, it seems like what it does is basically every person is assumed to have a car, but if they haven't used the car up to that point in their journey, they basically just have the car on them.
Right.
So you can go basically have someone who like gets on a subway station from outside their house, goes into the middle of town, and then when he comes out of the subway, he just turns into a car. It's like, my car was just parked next to the subway, I just keep it there.
That's quite funny. I suppose it's a way of getting over simulation problems again.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So yeah, I paid too much attention to like, because I'll be looking at like bus stops and be like, this bus stop is really crowded. Why the fuck is that? Where are all these people trying to go? Which bus line are they using? And then looking at the bus line and be like, so where are all these people trying to get to that's making it? Because I'll set up bus routes where it's like I'm trying to shuttle people from the residential zone to maybe a train station or whatever. But then sometimes it'll be like, this other random stop on the bus line is where people are getting off. So they must be walking around the corner to get onto this other bus line to go to a different place.
Okay.
And then I'm like, why are they doing that? I'll have to add extra bus lines to that route to even out the load or whatever.
But does it work? Does it change things? And
Yeah, well, does it change things? That's the impossible thing to tell. It's like, there's no more people standing at the bus stop, so I guess they're all completing their journeys. Woo. And I still haven't really... it's like every time I think I've come up with an ideal junction, where I'm like, how do you get all these people off the highway as smoothly as possible? Well, obviously you have to have like a roundabout or like this or that, and I keep coming up with new ideas to how
Off-ramps and
to
things.
improve the off ramps and the corners. And then every time I think I've got it so far, I'm just like, oh no, it's jammed up again. Why has it done that? Oh, I haven't thought this through correctly. The main problem is like roundabouts don't actually. People don't use roundabouts like they do in real life. Because they're not actually roundabouts, they're just road in a circle.
Right.
Because it's like in a roundabout in real life, you go in the right-hand lane if you're not going to the next exit, you're in the right-hand lane until you get to your exit, then you transfer to the left-hand lane, then you go out.
Sort of, yeah. But
That's more or less how roundabouts work. Whereas in this game, they
Sort
don't.
of, yeah.
It's like if they're turning left or they're going straight across, they're going to be in the left-hand lane.
But you should be in the left-hand lane if you're going straight across.
Not always.
No, it depends on the laning of the roundabout.
Well, yeah.
Like if you've got
Turning
specific
left,
signs.
you
But,
definitely do.
yeah.
But it's because they don't. It's like they don't. Well, the other problem is they don't really like come off the lanes correct. The main problem is outbound. It's like when you're going off a roundabout, because it's effectively you're turning off into the left-hand lane. Because you can only get off the roundabout in the left-hand lane.
Yeah.
Then the outbound road only ever uses the left-hand lane. And doesn't spread out immediately into the other lane, so that left-hand lane on the outbound road gets full, and then it jams off onto the roundabout, and then the roundabout gets jammed up, and then you're fucked.
Right.
That's why roundabouts don't really work, because it doesn't distribute the people as effectively as it should.
It doesn't maintain them as humans would sort of try and do.
Yeah,
But they are meant to be they're not like roundabouts you've made with roads. There is an actual roundabout construction in the game.
No.
Right, that you plug down. There
No.
isn't. You just make them.
Yeah.
Right.
Does
So
the
if
game
they added that, then it would might have the correct.
yeah, it might have better logic.
There's like something like SimCity 4 Rush Hour had extra like.
No, those
Traffic
were just made
shit.
out of road as well.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So there's never been a roundabout, a
No.
proper one in any kind of SimCity or not or
No,
I
equivalent
guess
game.
not. No. Does the game support driving on the left?
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's cool apart from one major problem. So it's like, obviously I have it set to drive on the left, because then that's much less confusing for me. It's like when I'm making a roundabout, you make them go leftwards. Because then it's like, yes, that's the clockwise direction. That makes sense, because otherwise you'd have them all turning across traffic.
I much prefer your description of leftwards.
Leftwards. It's the leftwards direction for a roundabout. So, and it's like, that's fine. But then the trouble is that you don't have the option to set it to left-hand drive in the asset editor. So if you go into the asset editor to make a junction that you can just place as a whole object, that's all in right-hand mode. So it doesn't actually work if you try and place it into a left-hand drive city.
Oh.
Because the like off-ramps all get reversed, and then you've got like people driving up onto the wrong direction of the highway
So, you
or
have to-
whatever.
so in the asset editor, you basically have to design it as a right-hand drive junction, and then the game will reverse it for you?
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's incredibly confusing.
So the asset editor should have a swap mode.
Yeah,
is what you're
basically.
saying.
I'm really hoping someone puts that in. Like a mod or
Someone
something.
will mod it, yeah.
But not that the trouble with the other trouble with the asset editor like junctions is you can make fancy junctions, and because the asset generator always has a grid, whereas in the city, when you're building a city, it only has like a grid in the vicinity of roads.
Sure.
So a lot of the time when I'm in the city, I'm just like laying down dirt roads to make a grid,
Okay,
so that
yeah.
I've got a grid to attach to. So in the asset editor, it has a grid all the time, so you can make nice, fancy, perfectly laid out corners that are actually 90 degrees and all smooth and stuff. But the trouble with it is that it doesn't account for hills, basically. And a lot of the time, the terrain isn't perfectly flat in the game.
Okay. So you
So if
the assets only really work as set pieces, not necessarily as fancy, like, oh, I actually want to replace this and make it look nicer.
Well, not exactly. It's basically when you're making... Say you're making an on-ramp onto a highway in the asset, like a raised highway. If you drag the on-ramp onto the highway, and then, like... If you try and make the on-ramp the minimum length possible, as in, like, basically the maximum steepness... That will only function if the terrain is perfectly flat, because the steepness of the ramp is dependent on the terrain underneath the other bits of road. Like, so if the highway slopes upwards at all, that on-ramp won't function any longer because it's steeper than the actual on-ramp type road can handle.
Right.
So you can make these like perfectly minimal junctions in the editor, but if the terrain isn't perfectly flat, they won't actually work.
So does that only, like, say you made the off-ramp, like, slightly less steep?
Yeah, you just
can that
basically
get around it.
Yeah, if you want to make stuff that actually works, you sort of have to make less than perfect junctions, you have to like add a little bit of extra leeway.
But so you can sort of know that, like, okay, this is perfect terrain, therefore I can use the perfect junction. Or maybe would you like just make lots of assets of slightly different slants of off ramp that the game would allow you to use occasionally?
Well, what I ended up doing basically the only time I've really tried to make a junction is I just made a version that didn't have any of the off ramps. It just had the other roads in position.
Okay.
So then I could just draw the off ramps myself and be like, oh, this one needs to be slightly longer and this one needs to be slightly shorter. So that sort of worked.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Still not great. Because
that
did save me a lot of effort in that one. Because it's like the off ramps is actually most of the roads in a junction.
Yeah, that actually sounds like quite a good way of doing it, though. In a way, actually, just have it so the highway lets you get off, and then you fill in the rest appropriately.
It's like I was thinking back to how it was in SimCity, and I don't think that was as much of a problem in like SimCity 4. It just seemed to let you slap it on whatever train. In a lot of cases,
I can't really remember. I don't remember having much joy with like off ramps in any city builder.
I think it's because in SimCity 4 it does a lot. It just like automatically basically creates raised road if the terrain is too steep.
Okay.
Whereas in this, it tries to always attach it to the terrain and doesn't automatically make bridges, basically.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, that kind of sucks, but it's all right. And yeah, as I said, every time I think I've come up with an ingenious junction, I've failed.
So the game is in a weird way holding you because of the content creation, like by the sounds of it, like over the actual game, or more so or less than the game.
I don't know. I just haven't really used that. I mean, there's a whole series of like one guy is just making every type of junction you can possibly imagine and uploading them. And I think it helps if they're raised junctions, so all his highway junctions are all raised and stuff.
Okay. So
that actually makes it more effective. But I don't like raised. I like raised highway in the residential zones, because, that's what you do. In the countryside, it's flat ground level.
Yeah.
Although, unlike in SimCity, that's not a distinction that the game cares about.
In 2000, they were all raised all the time, weren't they?
Well, yes.
That looked really dumb.
But, in SimCity 4, it was actually a distinct type of road.
Yeah, they were different.
Ground level highway and raised highway were different. Whereas in this, it's just like you just hit the up button and it raises it. And you can make it really tall if you want. If you want to make on-ramps exceptionally long. And there have been a couple of times where I've been making a junction and then realised I need to make another overpass that goes over, and I'm like, well, I don't want to raise the highway some more, so I'll just make a dip. So the highway goes back to ground level for
Get that in real life.
10 feet. Not within that distance, though.
No. Sometimes you get that.
Although that doesn't help, because it's an annoying feature of the pathfinding that the actual segments of road influence the pathfinding. So if you make a ramp down to ground level, the little segment of road that is at ground level counts as a separate zone for pathfinding. So if anyone wants to do a lane transfer, they'll cut across really sharply in that tiny little segment of road.
Oh, weird.
So you really don't want that. You want full length segments, because then that spaces out the pathfinding better. So yeah, all these little things.
Little niggles.
That I'm constantly fighting against. And I've also noticed that it's a thing that a lot of people have been complaining about in the Steam forums, is that, as you would expect, I guess, this game is incredibly CPU bound.
Yep, makes sense.
And basically, as you get more people in the simulation, it just limits how fast the game can run. So once you've reached a certain level of population, the third level of speed on the UI is exactly the same as the first, because it's that's as fast as it can process it.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
I suppose presumably that's only if you're going crazy large, is it? Or
I don't know. People have been suggesting that it happens within 100,000 people, and the upper limit, the theoretical limit of the maximum number of people it can do is 1 million. But if you can build 1 million, apparently there's a limit to how many buildings you can have as well. So maybe reaching 1 million population isn't actually possible, because you'd run out of buildings before you ran out of people. So yeah, it's a bit weird. I I haven't really noticed that the speed does slow down, but I guess that I'm always running it at maximum speed. So because I'm always running it at maximum speed, I don't notice it as my city grows. It's a slow transition. It's like, obviously it's gradually slowing down, but because it's gradually slowing down over the course of the game, I'm not noticing it happening. So if I started a fresh map and played that for like 10 minutes and then loaded an old city, maybe then I'd be able to see the difference. So yeah, still been playing that.
City.
Haven't got the fusion power plant yet. That's what my current city's for, but I'm basically done apart from just getting population, which is sort of... That's just annoying because it's like, I'm just adding even more people to this already slightly fucked up traffic situation because I need to redesign my ideas of junctions again. Just pile more people in there. Yeah.
So it's holding you though. That's a good sign.
Well, it's not that difficult to hold me for that kind of game. Keep me going for hours. I also
glowing praise.
I also played
better than SimCity.
I also played a bit of Starbound.
Sweet.
With Kippers and Jerry.
What's going on with Starbound?
Yeah, so how's that going?
Well, there was that winter patch in January or whatever it was, and then there hasn't been anything since then. They've just recently done an update to the unstable branch, but I'm not on the unstable any longer. I'm on the stable one, and maybe that patch will be hitting stable not that far away. So yeah, it's not really changed that much lately after that big change in the winter update.
So where's the game at, like, content-wise, and how you felt about that stuff? Because you weren't 100% sure there was enough game there, really, last time you were playing it.
Well, it seems like they've put in quite a lot more, like, random spawned content, like mini dungeons and stuff. Mm-hmm. So there's just more random shit to find in the world. I'm not sure how much more. There are still things that I haven't seen, so, that's something. But, yeah, and then, like, the missions, a lot of the missions feel like placeholder stuff, where it's just like, make me coffee. And you're like, okay, I'll make you coffee. I mean, then maybe that's sort of, in some ways, appropriate. So it's just like you find this outpost full of outcast people, and then they just need, like, menial shit doing, I guess. It's not big old adventures all the time.
It's kind of cool in its own stupid way.
Yeah. But then, like, the early missions, which seem to be the ones that are more towards what I imagined as finished, are obviously better than the later missions, because the early missions are sort of more directly tied into the progression, where it's like, make me coffee is really saying, find the coffee plants that only spawn on a certain type of planet, so you have to get to that planet,
yep.
And then make me glass for the coffee mug, which you can only get by getting sand from this other type of planet, so you're progressing through the different steps of going to the different planets in that way.
Right.
It's sort of teaching you to go through the progression in that mission. So a lot of the early missions seem to be like that, where it's pointing you towards doing a certain thing that's appropriate to that level, to the point that you're at in the game. And then the later missions start to turn more what I'd consider placeholdery. Where it's like, make paper. And it's like, oh, it's just made of wood. You've had wood since the start of the game. It's just a thing you have to click to make it happen. It's not a process. So yeah, that's still alright, I guess. The next patch is going to be maybe more important to how the game plays, which is when they're changing the teleport system so that you can basically have bookmarks and you can build teleporters yourself.
Oh, okay.
That's helpful.
So you can just teleport to and from your ship really easily.
You're going to make one called Quor.
Yeah, I was about to say Quor.
Exactly. Presumably you can just name them, because I guess that's how the bookmarks work. You just type in a name. I'll just name all my teleporters random 5-letter words for maximum confusion. And you could make Quor at the core of a planet if you wanted.
Yeah, cool.
Not actually useful in any way.
These are Starquake references, listeners.
Yep.
Which was what, an Atari ST game?
Yep. Watch the video.
Yeah, watch our gameplay video.
Yeah,
check it out.
It's quite a popular one.
And there was one more thing that I played. I forgot what it was. So that's always a good sign. Didn't play Guild Wars. Didn't play Eve.
Hooray!
Here's the things I did play, as usual.
I'm relieved.
Are you?
Yeah.
Why?
Sometimes those conversations go on forever.
It's not like this one hasn't.
Oh no, but it's been mildly more interesting to me.
We need to play Guild Wars again.
Yeah, we should, really.
I mean, there's not been anything happening, so you would have thought this would be the ideal time for us to actually do the main thing, because that was always our problem.
I'm not feeling the urge to go back just yet. I think I'm like the break is doing me some good. I think.
Yeah.
I was thinking the other day actually of just taking one of my like alt characters and starting to go through with them. Like,
okay.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, get the Necromancer up for some reason, just to see how it plays a bit more.
Play him far enough so that you can have some better bags.
Yeah.
Not that, you couldn't just give him better bags with one of your own characters.
Maybe.
Or me.
Yeah, you need to make some
because I need to make some bags.
Make some bags.
Give me some money, and then I'll make you bags.
What?
The fucking runes are the most expensive part of bags.
What?
Because you can't just... It's not like... you can't just craft bags out of crafting materials. You have to buy the runes that determine how big the bag is.
But you probably have so much money.
I don't want to spend it all on bags. It's like the maximum level bags, the 20 slot bags, cost 10 gold for the rune.
Okay, that's more gold than I have.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
So you don't get those, you get 15 or 18, which are much cheaper. Although I think the 18 one is still like 50 silver for the rune.
Jeez.
Which it isn't as
I
bad.
had no idea. For a bag!
Yep.
And they're not fucking Gucci.
No, they're made of goddamn chunks of fucking leather.
Gucci, Louis, Fendi, Prada.
Or metal, I guess.
Basic bitches wear that shit, so I don't even bother.
Alright, okay. It's Mulberry for you then. It's your bag of choice. We ended up talking about Guild Wars. Fuck!
Yep, not too much though. It was fine. I didn't play Space Engineers even though there was those updates. They've put in oxygen! So now you actually theoretically... Well, you can toggle it on in survival mode, but you can actually have it so you run out of oxygen and die. Which... I think I talked about this before in like Kerbal. It's like that's a thing that's a logical addition to the game, but it's not good gameplay in any way. It's just like a real inconvenience. All it does is have to make you go and mine ice and then process it into oxygen occasionally.
Yeah. I hate mechanics like that. It's just annoying. Like they were complaining about that Borderlands
the oxygen mechanics.
The oxygen mechanics. Like, this is just annoying. This doesn't add anything.
It would only be cool in Space Engineers if there was some actual reason to do it other than it just existing.
Right.
It's like, at the moment, it's just an inconvenience. So I was thinking, like, if you could make it so, I don't know, you have your welder thing to build the blocks in Space Engineers, and I was like, maybe if you have it so that when you're welding in an oxygenated environment, it welds faster.
Yeah, like...
It's like actually make it a bonus to have an oxygenated environment.
Yeah.
Rather than just an annoyance.
Yeah, that would be smart.
So yeah. I mean, maybe they will do that eventually.
Game design.
At the moment, it's just a big pile of inconvenience.
When's that? Did the console version of that come out? Or...
Yeah, we mentioned that previously.
Yeah, I knew it was coming.
Came out ages ago.
Oh, okay.
A really old version of it at this point, presumably.
Lame.
Speaking of games that have come out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, there's a couple of games that have come out this year that are making me feel a little bit better about what 2015 might be.
Okay.
Like, we've talked about Ori before.
Yeah.
That's got my fizz going. But I quite like the sound of the chatter going on about Axiom Verge.
Sure, yeah.
Right.
Like, because those sort of games are well up my street, generally.
Yes, but you haven't played Super Metroid.
No, this is true. I've never played, apart from, the only 2D Metroid game I've played was Metroid Fusion.
Yeah.
And I didn't play that very far because it wasn't my copy of the game.
And Metroid Fusion was like, I didn't agree with the weird way that game operated with its weird upgrade mechanics.
The
and
virusy stuff.
Yeah, the virus and the going back to the control room to toggle your abilities on or whatever.
I'm not sure I got involved with that stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't remember
Fusion
all about
seemed
it.
weird to me compared to the other Metroid games.
The thing is, I've played a lot of Metroidvania titles over the years, and it's like the more modern-y ones. I suppose games like Outland and Guacamelee technically count, and it's like I always get so sucked into those, and enjoy the hell out of them, that these two are going. I should really play these.
Yeah.
You should probably just play Super Metroid. Then you'll know. Then you'll know why that one was why that one's the one that everyone tries to rip off, and then all the other ones are imitations of it.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe there's some bits of Axiom Verge that maybe I won't get fully because I don't have the expectations that
it's obviously
come with Metroid.
trying to be a like old school looking game because it looks like the same kind of. I'd say it has a kind of similar way of the tile set. Like
Super Metroid looks cool.
Yeah,
it's a great looking game. Yeah.
I'd say like Axiom Verge has a similar kind of,
yes,
you can
from
see
what
the
I've
tiles.
seen, very much so, yeah. I can't work out if it's more SNES side or NES side in some of it.
I think it's sort of in between.
Yeah.
It's like the NES one, it's...
More colour depth than the NES, for sure.
Yeah. But I think Axiom Verge maybe has slightly more obvious tiles. Because in Super Metroid, they did a lot... I guess it's just like the tile set was bigger, I suppose you might say. It didn't have quite so many obviously repeating the same tile over and over.
They made an attempt to make it mildly more organic.
Yeah. So I think maybe that's where Axiom Verge verges towards the NES side. It looks like it has a bit more obvious tiles.
Balls.
Yeah, I just want to say, stuff I may do in the near future, but I'll have to get hold of a legit copy of Super Metroid somewhere.
Or an illegit copy, whatever.
Well, yeah.
I think that's on Virtual Console, isn't it? I think it is.
I would be surprised if it wasn't.
Well, I don't know. How much did they really release on Virtual Console? So, I mean,
quite a lot in the end, but it depends whether or not it's made it to the Wii U version.
Well, yeah, that is the trouble.
That's the trouble.
Yes, we shall. Yeah, that's not a bad. It's not a bad idea actually. Maybe I should approach that at some point.
What have you been playing, Rob?
Hey, I played some of that hot new shit, Timesplitters 2.
Okay.
Whoa.
Randomly, I was having a bit of a retro game evening with friends last night, and I had my pouch of GameCube titles.
Yeah.
I mentioned Timesplitters, and suddenly enthusiasm.
Okay.
Enthusiasm dawned.
Yeah. So we played ourselves some Timesplitters 2 deathmatch, just straight up deathmatch on mostly recommended settings. That game is dope. It's so much fun going back to it after so long. It's like, it's sort of a weird reminder because no game is like that anymore.
No.
Like, it is so out there, and it's so filled with content. Like,
I know.
there's so much stuff in that game. And it was a hella good time. Which then reminded me I should probably check in to see if Timesplitters Rewind has got anywhere. It's been several months since I last looked at that.
Any news?
Well, that's what I mean. I need to look in.
You need to check in.
I haven't done it, but...
So it reminded you, but then you didn't do it.
Well, no, this only happened yesterday, so I haven't had
It
time.
only happened within the last 24 hours.
Yeah, I've barely been home. Show your face. What else did we play on this crazy? I played some Tokyo Jungle as well, which I was trying to explain to Dan earlier. That is a crazy bloody game. It's kind of fun.
Not exactly retro.
No, but
apart from sort of, just because it was,
we could it's kind of sort of strange and retro, and it's Japaneseisms, I suppose. And
Japaneseisms.
Well, they have to make every game kind of arcadey and have a score and have ranks, and that's what that game is. Really, it's kind of crazy. Giraffes jump high. Yeah, it's kind of fun. Kind of a weird co-op experience if you just want to have a bit of a laugh. Yeah, I had a good time. Can't really explain it in full. We didn't do that much of it.
So is that a PC game?
PS3.
PS3 game. Oh, okay.
I don't think you have any choice with that because that was a sort of Sony in-house team that
really?
made it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Weird thing. There's a raptor to unlock eventually.
A raptor.
A Velociraptor. Wii U wants to sell you stuff.
Does the Wii U genuinely pop up adverts list at random or?
Yeah, you can turn it off. I haven't got around to it because I keep forgetting.
They're saying you can play Super Mario 64
on Virtual Console.
Wow.
Funny, we should say Virtual Console, and the Wii's like, oh shit, download an advert now.
Not quite sure that's how that works. But...
And DK64, which I bet doesn't hold up very well.
WarioWare Touched.
Oh, I want the original.
Oh, okay. I think the DS version was the best version of WarioWare, but
I played Super Mario 64 on the DS version at some point relatively recently.
Oh yeah?
Because that control scheme is weird.
It's properly strange, isn't it? Yeah.
I saw a screen grab the other day from that version of the game of Toad really insulting Luigi and being as mean as possible to him. That was quite funny.
Well, that's what every NPC you can talk to when you're Luigi, you know.
It's like, wow.
Which is basically just the Toads.
Where's Mario?
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird in like Luigi's Mansion where you know you're Luigi, and occasionally people still slip into that where they're like, "Oh man, why do you suck?" Although there is there's the funny bit where every time you go into a level, you like teleport into the screen or whatever, and it's the same animation every time because it's just a canned animation or whatever, loading transition. But then the Professor Egad calls it out, where it's like, you've teleported so many times, you don't have to cower in fear every time. Don't do it this time! And it's just the same animation again.
That's quite funny.
Lol.
It's the year of Luigi.
Yep. Always.
No, it isn't. That's over. Officially over.
The year of Luigi never ends. I know, I'm with you. I do like what they do with Luigi now. It's funny. It is funny.
It's never as funny as Paper Mario.
Yeah, Paper Mario is pretty great. Hey bro, I've been on this excellent adventure. Get the compass. Yeah, it's classy. So for realsies, what have I been playing? Not a great deal new, I suppose. Been playing reasonable amount of Forza Horizon. I don't really have much to add. That game is what it is.
Do you reach the horizon yet?
You can never reach the horizon.
Oh, damn it! Why is a misnomer?
You can never reach the horizon. The horizon outruns you. There is a bucket list challenge called Race the Sun, which actually has nothing to do with racing. You just like drive along this coastline while it gets dark.
Well, that's no good. I guess there's no cars fast enough to actually race the sun.
No.
You'd have to fly a plane.
No, you have to come up with a weird sort of challenge.
Yeah, it needs to be Concord, doesn't it? I believe.
Oh yeah.
It has to be pretty fucking fast.
Yeah.
Well, when most people say like a Race the Sun challenge, it means like from daybreak to sunset, do this distance.
Do a thing.
Yeah.
I guess.
Don't know how fast it is. I think Concord could do it because I remember them when there was a total eclipse. They at one point while Concord was flying, they had people on board and they were staying within the shadow for an extended period.
Yeah, but that's not the rotation of the Earth. That's like the rotation. That's slower, I think. The actual moon shadow travelling across the Earth is slower
than the rotation of the Earth.
I think so.
I mean,
it's
additive.
which
direction
yeah.
it's going, yeah.
It's additive or subtractive, I suppose.
Oh yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah. Interesting.
Actually, would it always be additive or would it always be subtractive? Because it must go in the same direction every time, right? Because the moon orbits in the same direction as the Earth rotates.
Yeah, it must do because of that's how it's spun out, like tidally.
So I guess it's always the same effect. It's always either
going
slower or faster, but I can't work out in my head which one it is.
Shit.
Oh well, physics.
Fuck. Can't quite do it. No.
Anyway. So, Forza Horizon.
Yeah, nothing really to add there. It's still okay as a kind of downtime game. Don't really have to think about it. I don't approach it in the same way that I approach normal Forza games. So I find the normal Forza games draw me in because they're hardcore racing sims, and I want to learn the tracks, and I want to get good at it.
And this isn't making you want to shave seconds off your lap times.
It really isn't, and which is kind of weird because the game there are parts of the game that sort of push you in the direction of, hey, why don't you go to a car meet, which is basically an online lobby, and go and steal someone's car design and a tuning setup. And actually, the car meets are one of the weirdest parts of the game, right? Because when you first log in, you tend to end up at a car meet location. It's like a car park, and people are there supposedly like looking at each other's cars and being, hey, look, all this. And the game always like the character, the douchebag character in the game, is basically always going, oh yeah, I'd quite like to catch myself, and take a picture of that car over there or something like that. And you can't take photos at a car meet, and it's like,
okay. And
the game is actually encouraging you to take photos of as many different cars as possible. So it's like, why do people go to a car meet to kind of like drool over other cars, right?
Yeah, surely.
And I can't do that there.
So can't take photos.
It's stupid.
Pretty dumb.
It's because they want you to buy the skin or whatever. They don't want you to just have a picture of it. They want you to force you to save the cool thing as an actual...
You don't buy skins in that game. It's like they're all just community made and stuff like that. It's all...
Well, yeah, but that's what I meant. I meant you have to get it.
Yeah.
You can't just take a picture of it.
Sure.
Okay.
But, yeah, it's that bit in particular just strikes me as slightly weird. And, I guess as the game goes on, the D-bag man has been slightly less irritating because he hasn't said as much.
The classic would do.
Yeah.
Like, we've run out of audio.
Although every 3 championships, it still asks you a road trip back to the Horizon Festival main base. And then you get there and he goes, all right, after that hard day of driving, let's party. Like, they make a big deal of the festival thing. And it just comes across as, I feel kind of uncomfortable. That's about some guy telling me to party. I don't know. I don't know. They just come across as weird. I don't know.
Fair enough.
Let's party. All right.
You bow. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so there's that. We'll see how
That was mainly about drooling over a car, wasn't it, that song?
Was it?
Because it was in that film Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and it played when it was the classic Ferrari. And it just had shots of this Ferrari going, oh yeah. Bow.
It's Duckman song, isn't it?
Yeah, they do use it for the Duckman, yeah.
I'm Duckman! Look into my veins! Anyway.
Look into my veins.
What else have I been playing? I've played quite a bit more Halo, actually.
Halo?
I ended up ending... not just Halo. Master Chief Collection. But, Halo 1 part of it.
Yeah.
So I've finished Halo 1
Combat
again.
Evolved.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Sorry. I got hooked.
Sorry, Zach.
You should have just played 4, I guess. One I don't care about that much.
Well, I'll continue to play through co-op, man, because we're playing it through in Legendary. I ended up doing the bloody library, right? And I accidentally did it in Legendary mode.
Oh God!
I thought I've been playing through everything in
didn't
Heroic.
they fix it though to some extent in the remake? I think they did something. I don't think it's exactly the same with the new look. I think they actually did something.
No, because it's playing the old game underneath.
I know, but I think they made some. I can't remember what it was, but I think they made some geometry
It
change.
seems exactly as I remember.
It's fucking long.
Yeah, it does take a long time. But this led me down a dark rabbit hole in that I thought, well, because the speedrun challenge on that level is for 25 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, is that even remotely possible?
Possible, right, yeah.
So I put it in normal mode and gave it a shot. And I got as close as 27 minutes at the end,
right.
running it in normal mode.
Going as fast as you could.
Yeah. Which isn't too bad, but I still couldn't get it. And I tried way too many times, like 3 or 4 times to do this. And this is 2 hours of wasted time. What am I doing?
Do you go for the shotgun with the flood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost exclusively.
Right.
You can pretty much keep your ammo count up if you stick to it.
My problem is that there's always one freaking flood with a freaking rocket launcher. It shoots in the fucking face.
Oh no, yeah. This is my problem. Like the back half of Halo 1 is actually kind of crappy. Like I don't think it holds up anymore. Like because it's just actually a lot of the design. Like there are levels that like 2 betrayals basically is basically assault on the control room backwards
in reverse, yeah.
And that level doesn't work as well as assault on the control room.
No, I mean they do give you
coming out of the giant
flying thing or the banshees and stuff.
Sure,
that does mix up a bit.
Yeah, but coming out of the giant pyramid is terrible. Because it starts with a couple of quite large fights in that corridor coming out of the control room with no cover.
Yeah, no
it's
cover
like,
at
and
all.
it's the worst.
Yeah, that sucks.
It's properly terrible, that section. And then coming down the pyramid itself is actually really kind of crappy.
Yeah, what do you have to do? Do you have to find a banshee there? Or
well, yeah.
you have to go up on the left hand side or whatever.
But it's like a zigzag path up the pyramid. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so
I mean, once you're at the base, you have to go across the bridge. Do you?
No, not at that point. There were just banshees parked at the base.
Oh, there are. So you can just
point,
take off.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
And then you fly to a high up ledge to get to your first plasma thing.
Next bit, yeah.
And then when you come out of there, you land on the bridge you went across.
And just walk out.
Yeah, and go that way.
Yeah, cool.
But it's like, that whole section there is getting off that. Because there's I think it's the first time you see a gold elite.
Yeah.
In heroic mode, anyway. Is at the bottom of that. And it's like, he's proper hardy. There is a sniper rifle there, so you can dispatch him quick. But there's a lot of dudes down there, and then there's not a lot of cover as you're coming off the base of the pyramid. So it's like that section is super irritating.
Is that like a tank flying, moving around?
There's a tank as well, yeah. A Wraith.
Yeah, the sniper rifle's like in the kind of as you come out of the door in the like tower part of the. Yeah, there's like a little stash. Isn't there?
Yeah, there's one there. Oh no, that is the one. Sorry, there's a rocket launcher
right
towards the base as well, which is helpful.
Anyway, I know what you mean.
And I should use the rocket launcher more often because there's actually quite a lot. What you sort of forget about Halo is there's actually quite a lot of on levels that have the rocket launcher. There's actually quite a lot of ammo about.
Well, that's what we did when we played the previous on the control room. When we, for some reason, after we'd been finding it so hard that the first few levels playing in Legendary, when we got to this one, which we thought was going to be a big pain in the ass, it was actually quite easy.
Yeah, it wasn't so bad, was it? Yeah.
But then we were playing. I was playing with like needless sniper rifle, and Rob was going like rocket launcher plasma pistol.
Yeah,
it was like the most retarded weapon combo.
That is quite weird. Rocket launcher plasma pistol is really strange.
That was a weird combo. It's because I would sort of like damage people, and Zach would tend to like focus our fire on the same guy a lot of the time. And
it's just like I was trying to get like the headshots real quickly on the elites, and then my problem was like because I had the needler and the sniper rifle, like there was fuck all I could do in close range, and it was a real waste to shoot like at any of the grunts or jackals because it's like you either have to needle combine them or waste the whole sniper shot.
Whereas the plasma pistol is actually quite an effective weapon against all the Covenant.
Yeah, I mean the leak combo is both the pistols, isn't it?
Yeah,
where you overcharge and then
headshot. Yeah,
but
that's a classic.
It's so hard to use though.
That's a classic.
I would always go with, pretty much all through Halo 1, I used a plasma rifle and pistol. That was my combo.
Ammo for the pistol actually ends up getting quite scarce as you go through that game. So it's like becomes worth. And also, like Two Betrayals also has the problem of flood with a rocket launcher right round a corner, and they immediately just fire and you explode, and there was nothing you could have done about it.
That's so annoying. Flood with rocket launchers.
It's those sections are awful. They really are just bad, and it's like the problem I have with Halo actually is the number of occasions where there was nothing you could do about it.
I mean, it
actually
so
gets
old,
quite
though.
high.
Like, how old is that game?
Oh, yeah, it's ancient, but it's like 12 years old or something.
It's crazy. What they did is amazing.
Oh yeah, it's still at the time. I still consider it like it's a groundbreaking achievement at the time, even if the back half of that game is somewhat cheaply designed and like if you think about it, like reusing geometry, reusing sections, So, and even levels where they do go. Like Keys is quite a cool level, really, even if it is most of the Truth and Reconciliation again.
Yeah, but it's all gloopy and the pits. And shit. That's kind of cool.
And there's one set piece there in particular which should be awesome, but actually, like when you play it on a harder difficulty level, it's kind of irritating. Where there's a bit where there's a load of the flood carriers running towards a group of Covenant. Like away, and you're on a sort of ledge watching it all unfold, and you can sort of influence that battle from afar, which is kind of neat by sort of blowing up the carriers in the right locations to take out some hunters.
Nice.
So that's kind of cool. Except for when you jump into the fact, like all the flood carriers are actually kind of appearing around the area you jump into and then run towards the middle. So when you decide to wade in, those are still spawning around you. And there are plenty of times where you just can't predict where they're going to be at that moment in time, and they'll just explode and you die.
Right.
And it's like,
that's a trouble.
So I've spent a while influencing this battle, and I've jumped in, and then I've been killed by something I can't see because water is actually quite like dense
and hard to look through.
Yeah, and it's like so there was nothing I could do about that, and that's quite frustrating because it makes what is a cool set piece, kind of frustrating.
It's interesting. All of the levels reuse stuff from previous levels in the back half.
Yeah, pretty much.
The last level reuses the first level, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, actually in the run up, and then before you get into the Jeep anyway.
Yeah.
And then that whole section actually, you're like, it's a cool section.
I really like it. Yeah.
But when you start to think about like all of this is on the pillar.
Yeah.
Like, really?
But
all of these stupid like bits of shit.
It doesn't make sense really. Yeah. But like, I actually like the cafeteria fight. It's fucking hard.
It is hard, but it's a cool...
I like the Spec Ops dudes. I wish they were more in Halo. The Spec Ops elites with their super hardcore fuel rod cannon grunt dudes.
Yeah,
that was like such a cool idea. They look so cool as well.
They do.
Yeah,
it's a cool sequence.
Yeah.
And I
those two last levels I didn't mind as much as the run up to those.
Yeah.
Like the bits that are primarily Flood are not that game's strong point.
No. I mean the introduction to Flood is cool, obviously.
Yeah.
And then
343 is okay, but that's quite an irritating level in itself because it's somewhat confusing because of the routes you have to take to get back out of it.
You can get quite lost trying to get to the end, which is annoying. But it was very atmospheric and cool looking.
Mm. But yeah, as I say, it's got me so like I'm hyped for Halo right now because it's like,
you
do get drawn in. You just get drawn in, and it's a cool bloody game. It's a cool bloody world. Neat setup. So the next question is do I jump into Halo 2 without Zach?
Damn it.
Okay, I'll wait. I'll have to. Well, that's actually probably a good thing. Maybe that will force me to start something else big, give Halo a rest for a while.
Or just play Halo 4. You can do that. I don't care.
That's fine. I'm going to play through them all in sequence. I'm going to get the three. Actually, I don't know if they, the terminal sequences that they added. I don't know if they added them in the original Anniversary version, but it would kind of make sense if they did, because there's some stuff in that refers to the Didact and the Librarian that maybe if you played Anniversary before Halo 4 came out, that maybe you'd have a tiny bit of knowledge to explain what the shit was going on. Because as much as I like Halo 4 as a game, their storytelling is pretty bad. Like, unless you have the background knowledge of who the hell the Librarian and the Didact are. Yeah. I could go on a rant about Halo 4 on another occasion, I suppose, when we finally get to it. But it's an interesting plot point, spoiled by how the game tells it, or doesn't tell it, actually. But anyway, Halo, it's cool. I still suck at the multiplayer. Which totally works, by the way, now. It's like I haven't had a single problem with it since that last patch came down.
Sweet. Finally.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool that it works.
Well, apart from classic matchmaking issues, like I don't think the team balancing is particularly smart.
Right.
That's on ranked matches, anyway.
It's amazing how they can't get it as good as Halo 2 was.
Yep.
Anyway.
It is fascinating how ballsed up that still is, I guess. And I was Easter egg hunting while I was doing some of those levels as well, like with a guide. Like, just like, what is here? What do I need how do I get some of these achievements? What are they? And like, a lot of stuff you probably wouldn't find on your own, because some of it is quite obscure, like where to find the skulls that they added, and where to find, stuff like that. It's like there's some silly stuff about in those games. The Thirsty Grunt.
What does that one do?
It's one of those. There's a grunt in pretty much every Halo game somewhere who is a non-combatant effectively, and you just stand next to him and he says stupid stuff.
Oh, okay.
Like there's a one at the end of Halo 3 in the middle of everything exploding who's just stood on the corner of a bit of scaffolding who you can go up to and like he'll be like, "Oh no, the end of the world." Say all kinds of silly stuff.
Grunts are still kind of dumb in that world.
Yeah.
I mean, they're cool, but that's why I like those Spec Ops grunts, because they mean business.
The fuel rod cannons. I sort of forgot that the fuel rod cannons explode after use.
Yeah.
That caught me out a number of
You're
times.
like, I'll pick this up. Boot. Oh, shit.
Well, no, it was more that I didn't know what the hell killed me. Like, half the time. It's like, what the hell was that? Everyone was dead.
Yeah, they just explode.
And then after a while, it's like, oh, the fuel rod cannons explode like a plasma grenade, but green. I'm a stupid. And I played some Goat Simulator.
Goat Simulator. Do you have more of a kind of an insight on what it is to be a goat now?
I mean, I'm the Goat Queen.
You're the Goat Queen?
Apparently.
What? How come?
There's an early Easter egg in that game where you can basically like enter a castle filled with goats and they bow to you, and then you sit on the throne and then you get set on fire. And then you go back, you spawn back in the real world, and then every time you press the special button, a dead goat spawns from the sky. I'm the queen of the goats.
Yeah, that sounds like an accurate simulation.
That's about right, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what goats do all day.
I can sort of. That game is insane and occasionally hilarious. I found it funny at first. Let's put it that way. After that point, it is basically like, okay, what does this do? Is there going to be something funny with this? Does this do anything? It's kind of a big old discovery game
It's like
more than
hunt the
anything else.
jokes, right?
Kind of,
Find
yeah.
the jokes, yeah.
And that does, I don't know, I've played it for about 4 or 5 hours, I think. 3 hours on a Twitch stream the other day. And it's just kind of, I don't know, it does wear a little thin, because it's like some of it, it's janky as fuck, kind of intentionally janky as fuck. And it's hard to know what you're supposed to be doing, I guess. And that's kind of the point, really, but I'm not
that on board with that.
No,
yeah.
I mean, it's okay. I guess it gets its joke across within the first 5 minutes, and then you're left wondering, what else is there? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe we'll keep trying. Figure out what to do with that 3 hours of footage I have, whether I should just put it up, or whether Zach and I should do a video at some point, or I don't know what to do.
I don't think Zach cares about Goat Simulator.
Not that I don't care about it. It's just like once you've seen the jokes, I don't think there's any point in
No.
trying to record a reaction at that point. I mean, once you've had your reaction,
I mean, this is why I was kind of playing it without sort of necessarily thinking about going to YouTube with it, because there's so much material about this game out there that it's
everyone's done it.
Us doing something perhaps wasn't necessary. Hence why I did my.
We should just wait until we get to G and Steam, and then by then it might be fresh again or fresher.
Yeah, maybe.
Considering how fast we're getting through Steam, we're still only at the start of B.
Yeah, give it 4 more years, and then Goat Simulator will come back. So I'm probably good to just carry on, I guess.
Well, you started, so you need to finish. That's your
that is my usual motto. It's got a Dead Mouse reference.
Slightly more than a reference.
It's outright ripping him off. I don't wonder if Dead Mouse gave his approval. I doubt it.
I doubt it.
He probably doesn't care. It's probably free publicity is the word.
There we go.
Publicity.
Publicity. Publicity high.
Publicity.
Publicity.
Welcome to the
Publicity.
Welcome to the Publicity. Oh! And I actually went back into Sunset Overdrive.
Oh yeah, because there was a thing. There was a DLC thing.
Well, yeah, there's been some DLC things, but I haven't got those.
Yeah, but was that what prompted you to think about it? Then
No.
go back in.
No, I just felt like mopping up because, as I've said before, I generally have a good time in that world. Just dicking about and going from place to place isn't a problem. I had a single quest left to do. I had a few more of the last few items to mop up in the world, which I've done so. Got the achievos. There's a little bit left to do still, some of which I will probably never do, because some of it is hard. Still really enjoy that game. Sunset Overdrive. It's fun.
Get an Xbox One right now. Play Sunset Overdrive.
Get that hot exclusive on the Microsoft platform.
Exclusive.
Oh, news. This week's Xbox Live Gold game, this month's, Xbox Live game with Gold, is you can still get hold of Rayman Legends if you haven't already got it. Child of Light has turned up, which I fully recommend you get hold of and play. It might have been on a Gold before, but it dropped off it's there now, whatever. Go get it. You should really play that. But the new addition to the games with Gold is Pool FX. Oh, Pool Nation FX.
Pool Nation.
Those balls are so round.
Man.
I haven't actually played it yet. But...
You used to play pool. I'd never really played it, so I was trying to learn.
Oh yeah,
I'm really shit.
When I was like 17, yeah, sure, badly.
I'm going.
Well, we all tried at some point.
Yeah.
I don't remember trying when we were.
We went to pool hall. I had a pool hall card, and that's me, the person who never goes out for any reason ever. I had a card.
Well, you didn't have a choice. If you joined us at Riley's at any point, you needed one.
But I mean, I went more than once.
Yeah.
Several times more than once.
I went very many times to that place.
We used to do it quite a bit.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm terrible.
Pool Nation. Get your Xbox balls.
We weren't playing snooker though, so you know.
Man, snooker's so hard.
Yeah.
How anyone plays snooker?
Jimmy White's World Wins Snooker.
Yeah.
I remembered some other news.
Yeah.
Because the thing about
late breaking news
thing with Sunset Overdrive releasing DLC which apparently made him boss or new boss or whatever, which supposedly is even more ridiculous than its actual last boss. as if that was possible. Oh shit, now that's fucked my thought up again. I forgot what the news was.
Come on. Come on, under pressure. You gotta remember what it is.
Is it DLC related? Sunset Overdrive related? What was he talking about before?
Games with gold related, something.
Pool? Something about a pool? Is it Sims pools?
Stop saying words! It's not helping.
Are they putting swimming pools into the Sims?
No,
I think they might have already done
yeah,
that.
I think that was practically one of the first patches they did for Sims 4. Introduced swimming pools. Oh, I forgot what it was. Never mind. Someone else keep talking and I'll try
Spoiler
and
pools. You got anything, Dan? We haven't left you a lot of time.
No. I barely played anything. I played some, Towerfall Ascension. That's a really good game.
Oh, yeah. We should totally play that now.
That game's cool. I haven't got much further in Homeworld, but I haven't got much more to say on it. It's hard. It's cool, and it's hard.
You should get through it so we can have you talk about Homeworld too.
Oh, Christ. I don't know about that.
I remember what the other news was. It's not really that much of a news, but the
of a news.
A singular news.
A new.
Nintendo put up a voting page for who you want to be in Smash Bros. DLC. Community vote for who next Smash Bros. DLC... Well, not the next. Who one of the future Smash Bros. DLC characters will be.
What was the deal with Mewtwo?
He's coming in DLC.
Okay.
Because he's like the first, I think.
Because I think, isn't it certain people will already be eligible to get access to him or something? I can't remember what the rules are.
Some kind of like free, semi-free or whatever.
Oh, no, it's for people that have both the 3DS and the Wii U.
Oh, right, yeah, that makes sense.
They get Mewtwo.
Lucas.
Oh, God.
Lucas?
Actually, Lucas was the better version of Ness.
Okay. Well, it depends what you wanted. He was just like an alternate version of He's just a clone.
Lucas.
Again, basically. What we're talking about. So, yeah, who do you want in Smash Bros?
It's also been said that he might turn up as one of the characters in Mario Kart.
Okay.
But I don't think that's part of the DLC because I think we know the characters are going to be in the Mario Kart DLC, but it's the tracks we don't know what that are going to be in the next part. But
the real question is does this community voting for who to theoretically put in Smash Bros? Are we to assume that the most likely outcome is going to be any Nintendo character?
Yeah, well,
there's not going to be any we're going to go out and try and make extra third-party deals to get Snake back or whatever.
just use the deals they already have.
I don't think you can just use deals you already have.
Get Knuckles in there.
I thought of a character who would play like Snake. Oh no, wait, that's right. Yeah, I was like, if you want to have Snake but not Snake by using a Nintendo character, just put Andy from Advance Wars. He can basically play like Snake.
Yeah, he probably could actually. Yeah.
Basically the same. And his Uber Smash move would be, I don't know, a giant tag.
Yeah.
Or just some of the other guys from Advance Wars would turn up and do a tag team ability or something.
Yeah.
CO power type thing. Yeah.
Tag COs.
There'll be a period of time where artillery shells are constantly falling on it and it's playing that ding 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 ding.
Don't you bring grit. That's like the most boring character.
I just want that music.
Really bit crushed.
So yeah, he's just like Snake. That'd be a good way to reuse the moveset you've already got, only with a Nintendo character.
You want really obscure F-Zero characters to come in.
You can't bring in any of the other F-Zero characters.
Samurai Goro, come on.
No, they should bring in James McCloud. Because that'd be funny.
That would be pretty good.
That'd be funny and real confusing.
Yes. The thing is that they were stretching it a little bit with Captain Falcon and what the bloody hell would he even do as a moveset,
Yeah, just punch things is the answer apparently.
Falcon punch. And
but what any fucking F-Zero character.
In theory,
the only one is Samurai Garo, and he has a sword because he's a samurai. So that's
that could sort of work.
Logic.
And actually, he might still be a support trophy in the game.
I think he is.
So they won't be able to do that.
No. They're not going to put any other characters from F-Zero.
Oh, there's just going to be 1,000,001 requests for whoever's favourite Pokemon.
Well, they can't put any more Pokemon in. If they do another fucking Pokemon, that'd be ridiculous. They're already bringing back Mewtwo, which everyone bitched about forever.
Yeah, no one liked Mewtwo.
And we've already got 5 other fucking Pokemon.
Yeah. I don't want another Pokemon.
Bring back Pichu. Fuck you guys.
You say that they'll probably do that. Anything that's missing from this iteration will probably come back, won't it? Pichu will almost certainly return.
I'm betting on Crystal. That's the one that I hear the most people on the internet voting for.
Yeah, that could happen. They haven't done that before.
Wouldn't mind the chance to beat up Tingle.
He's a support trophy.
Skull Kid would be kind of a cool.
Some people have been saying Skull Kid, and I don't understand how
Why
you think
not?
that could be an actual character.
Why not?
He's already a support trophy, obviously. So.
Alright.
I think if they were going to do something like that, they'd probably bring in like Midna or something. Like because
Well,
both
she's a support trophy as well.
Oh, is she? Oh, yeah.
Don't you remember? She's the one that teleports around and teleports right next to you and then chucks you off the fucking screen
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's impossible to avoid.
Well, what about real form Midna? I don't know. Because both of those are like characters in
Human form
Hyrule
Midna, I don't
Warriors.
know.
Is Sheik in this one?
Yeah, as
Yeah.
a separate character now.
Yeah, standalone character now.
Okay, that's
And if you do Midna, you do her like in the Dynasty Warriors thing, doing her riding a Shadow Wolf.
Oh yeah, that could be cool. But yeah, as I say, the support trophy kind of screws that up.
But it doesn't
No.
necessarily screw it up. They could remove that if they wanted
I
to.
mean,
do
Tingle's
that.
is a support trophy as well, so.
Yeah.
Although Tingle is also playable in Hyrule
Oh, and
Warriors.
the other one I saw, which is a really good idea but won't happen because it's not popular enough, is they should do Isaac from Golden Sun as an actual character.
Yeah, Golden Sun is a good show.
Because he turned
actually.
up as a support trophy in the last one. I
Yeah.
don't think he's any longer.
Oh yeah, because he had the giant hand,
the
the
giant
side
pushing
push.
hand.
Yeah. Yeah, the Golden Sun's a good shout, actually. They should do something from
But
that.
it's just not popular enough. It's not going to.
No, I
draw
guess,
enough
I guess
attention.
you're right. But, I mean, they did bloody Duck Hunt. Bring back that.
That's not because that was an attention grabber. That was because that was a funny
Yeah.
old
in terms
school
of
Nintendo reference.
characters they'll bring back, I reckon we'll see Ice Climbers. Not that I want them there, but I reckon we'll see them.
I guess.
They were the
they
most
fit
popular
in-
character at one point in terms for competitive play. I think.
It's like they fit in with the new game's obsession with like weird mechanics.
What if they use like the Namco license and pull in like a Tekken character or something?
I don't think it just fits with Sapphire's that one.
No, but
Have they ever put like an actual fighting game character into Smash Brothers? Because that's a bit weird.
I don't think they have.
Unless you count Punch Out as a fighting game.
Yeah, I guess.
That's probably the closest. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
we'll just bring in Ken. Because
Yeah,
why the fuck
yeah,
not?
because that'd be so stupid.
Because everyone will be expecting Ryu, and they'll be like, "No, fuck you, Ken."
Yes, that's the best reason.
That would be stupid.
And Blanca.
Someone from Soul Calibur.
Yeah, Ivy, because that would be totally appropriate
Yeah.
for a Nintendo game.
Totally.
Voldo.
Oh yeah, totally bring Voldo in.
Well,
That'd be hilarious.
That'd be an awesome moveset.
that's why I'm thinking that Skull Kid could be he's quite weird like Voldo.
He doesn't really
It's not
fight.
that weird.
What sort of moves is he going to? Is it going to be like mask based? Is it going to be
Yeah.
transforming?
Sure, why not?
I don't know.
Giant Navi.
It's a giant glowing ball. That's like,
Navi. That'd be so stupid.
At least add him as a support trophy. He just goes, "Hey, listen," and everyone dies.
Yeah.
no, it should be like the Nintendo's, like a giant Navi up on the screen going, "Hey, listen," and just obscuring your view all the time.
Yeah, that'd be cool. The Deku Tree. I don't know. What's the stupidest thing possible?
Car.
A car?
You know, that's from that Fighters Megamix, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
They had a fighting car.
An Excite truck.
Yeah, exactly.
Sight.
Yeah.
Not an Excite bike, an Excite truck.
Yep. I'm pretty sure Excite Bike exists as a support trophy, so you know.
Oh, here's a thought.
Or
They
does
might-
it?
Is it Rio? Like one of the bikers from, or one of the characters that's been in Wave Race, both the Wave Race games. That's obscure, but it's a shout.
Have they had like
What?
Phoenix Wright? Just being
It's like Ryu
"Objection!"
Hazama or something.
Well, he was in Marvel vs. Capcom.
Oh,
That's
right,
where he
yeah.
came in.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they've got Sega on board, so maybe there'll be something.
More
there.
Sonic characters.
Well, no. What about
Tails, why not? I mean,
What about what's his face from Shenmue?
that's not a fighting game character.
It's kind of he fights.
He fights, but he fights in a boring, generic way.
Sure, but well, it could be a bit more martial arty than the others.
Yes. No, his like B moves would all be like putting out capsule toys and shit.
Yeah.
Just dumping crap into the arena.
Super Hang On suddenly turns up.
Or like down B, he turns around to look at a tiny kitten in a box on the floor. And somehow that's an attack.
Yeah, no, his final smash will just be him rummaging through drawers and discovering something explosive and be like, oh no. Or a pachinko machine. It'll be a giant pachinko
Or a
machine.
forklift.
Yeah. Oh no, that'll totally be it. No, that would just be his B move where he just presses it and like Wario's bike, a forklift comes out.
That'd be awesome.
Maybe that's Ryu Hazama. I can't remember his actual name.
No.
Yeah. I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
What other Nintendo properties really are there?
Yes, we've run out of
Cranky Kong.
one of the other Kongs.
Yeah.
All the Kongs.
We've already got 2. That's already too many.
Cranky Kong.
You want Lanky?
Why do you want Lanky?
Because he has a more interesting moveset.
It's not as famous as Cranky Kong.
Conkers.
Conker. Yeah.
Conker.
But that's a Microsoft IP.
Yeah.
Oh,
at
yeah.
this point.
They won't
Shit,
get
I
that.
forgot about that.
And none of the other rare stuff either. You're playing no Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah.
That would be an awesome character.
That would actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Depends if, well, they've done deals with everyone else, but I suppose Microsoft, because they're tied to the Xbox platform, there's no chance probably of getting any of those,
Yeah.
which is a real shame. No Jet Force Gemini.
Did you guys actually play that game? Did you guys get the controller, whatever system figured out or whatever?
For
Smash Brothers?
well, yeah, we've played it, but I play it.
And I played it with the Pro Controller thing. And
You still
Yeah.
don't like it?
it's
Can
still
you get-
not the best.
What about
No.
GameCube controllers?
I
What's going on
still
with that?
can't get hold of one.
Seriously, because
Yeah.
David's literally just got one in his drawer that he's not using.
Son of a bitch.
Because he has the
Oh,
because he's had the whole setup since the beginning, so he could do how many players can you get? 16
yeah.
or 8?
8, yeah.
8. Yeah, he's ready to go for that. He just hasn't. I don't think he has enough controllers, but he's got the adapters.
The new GameCube controllers, by the way, totally work with old GameCubes.
Sweet.
you would have thought they would.
Yeah.
But it's just like, they're not actually new.
So
No.
yeah, I think you need to get that sorted out.
Yeah, admittedly it's been a couple of weeks since I've looked, but I heard like I think it was mid-March or something that they were supposed to be coming back in stock, and yeah, I've not seen anything.
Right.
They're still
Okay.
rare as hell. Oh, I will totally pick one up as soon as it does, because that will suddenly make that game, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I'm hoping so, at least.
I actually
Yeah.
want to get into it.
It's not as... Yeah, you're right. There's something feels wrong playing it on the gamepad. I actually haven't played it on the Pro Controller because I let Zach have that.
Oh, yes.
But, so
that's Smash Brothers news,
yeah.
and that's kind of the end of our podcast. I think just about. I think
Yeah.
we're reaching the end.
Yeah, I think we'll
Because it got dark in here and I'm hungry.
Yeah, it's dark. And
It's making me sleepy.
Yeah, we're going to fall asleep before we eat. That's not
Yeah.
good. And I've been eating chocolate because it's Easter Sunday.
It's mood lighting, man. We're bathed in the...
Bathed in a single red LED and 2 screens from the side.
Yeah, it's literally dark. Right. Okay, cool. Thanks for joining us, listeners. Stay tuned to happysalad.net and our YouTube channel for crap. Sorry, engaging content of the most...
High quality time.
High quality possible. Well, I watch it, so... Can't
So obviously Dan is very discerning.
Yes, I'm a discerning man. And
Stick to your original pitch. I think it was good.
and and come back in 2 weeks for more audio crap.
Sell it!
Bye.
Bye-bye.